Hello guys, welcome to Saiyan What Ifs. So in this video, we will see, what if Goku mastered Ultra Instinct Day 1? If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's start the story. Chapter 1. Silver Awakening. The Tournament of Power arena floated like a vast stone disk in the infinite void, illuminated by harsh blue light that cast no shadows. 80 fighters from EIG, HT universes had been reduced to less than half that number, their desperate battle to avoid universal erasure growing more frantic with each passing minute. The thunderous impacts of bodies colliding at superhuman speeds echoed across the battle-worn platform, punctuated by desperate shouts and the sizzling discharge of energy attacks. Goku stood alone, his orange GI torn and his body battered from countless exchanges. Across from him loomed Jiren, the pride trooper whose stoic expression hadn't changed despite the ferocity of their battle. The muscular gray-skinned warrior's eyes narrowed SLIGHTLY, the only indication he gave that he recognized Goku as a worthy opponent. Your determination is admirable, Jiren stated flatly, but ultimately meaningless. Strength is absolute. Around them, fighters from various universes paused their own battles, drawn to the palpable tension building between the two powerhouses. In the floating observation stands, gods and angels leaned forward, steel beings bound by curiosity despite their immortal detachment. Goku appears to have reached his limit, observed Whis, the blue-skinned angelic attendant to Universe 7's god of destruction. His normally playful voice carried an unusual note of concern. Beside him, Beerus growled, purple ears twitching with agitation. That idiot better have something else up his sleeve, or we're all getting erased. The Supreme Kai clutched his hands together, knuckles whitening. He's pushed beyond Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken 20 times. What more could he possibly? Look, Whis interrupted, his staff materializing in his hand. It's beginning. On the arena floor, Goku's legs trembled with exhaustion. His breath came in ragged gasps as he stared up at Jiren, who remained unnervingly fresh despite their exchange. I've given everything I have, and it's still not enough, Goku thought, an unfamiliar desperation creeping into his mind. Everyone is counting on me. Universe 7, my friends, my family. I can't fail them. Jiren raised his hand, red energy coalescing around his fist. It's over. The attack came with devastating speed, a crimson blast that consumed Goku's vision entirely. There was no time to dodge, no time to counter. In that millisecond between perception and impact, something profound shifted within Son Goku. Time seemed to stretch like taffy, sensations sharpening to an impossible degree. Goku could perceive individual particles of energy within Jiren's attack, could feel the subtle vibrations in the air molecules as the blast approached. His consciousness expanded outward while simultaneously diving inward, touching something primordial and infinite that had always existed within him, waiting to be discovered. Let go. The thought wasn't his own, yet came from the deepest part of himself. A lifetime of martial arts training, countless battles, every moment of his existence, all suddenly converged into perfect clarity. His body moved without command, sliding effortlessly aside as Jiren's attack passed through the space he had occupied milliseconds before. In the stands, Whis dropped his staff. It clattered against the divine floor, the sound shocking in its unexpectedness. Impossible, he whispered. Beerus grabbed his attendant's arm. What's happening to him? Ultra Instinct. Whis's voice trembled with something approaching reverence. But not the complete form we glimpsed in his previous battles. This is perfect mastery. Goku stood transformed. Silver-white light cascaded from his body in gentle waves, his hair shimmering with the same metallic luster. His eyes, normally black pools of innocent determination, now gleamed with sterling brilliance that reflected nothing yet seemed to perceive everything. Most striking was his expression. A tranquil awareness utterly unlike his usual battle-hungry grin or serious combat focus. He appeared simultaneously present and elsewhere, existing in perfect harmony with the moment while transcending it entirely. What is this power? Kale whispered from where she and Caulifla watched at the arena's edge. Caulifla's eyes widened, her Saiyan battle instincts recognizing something fundamentally different. I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Her voice carried its usual bravado, but a new undercurrent of genuine awe colored her words. Jiren launched himself forward, fists blurring with impossible speed. Yet each strike passed through empty air as Goku moved with liquid grace, his body responding to attacks before they were even launched. No thought preceded movement, action and reaction became one unified flow. You dodge well, Jiren acknowledged, increasing his tempo, but avoidance isn't victory. Goku didn't reply. Words seemed unnecessary, distant things belonging to a heavier existence. His counter came without warning, a single palm strike to Jiren's solar plexus that contained no wasted energy, no telegraphed intent. The impact sent the Pride Trooper skidding backward, the first sign of genuine damage he'd sustained in the tournament. High above in the specialized observation deck reserved for the highest celestial beings, the Grand Minister's eyes narrowed with sudden interest. Beside him, the childlike Omni Kings bounced with excitement. Wow, Goku is all shiny, Zeno exclaimed. Super shiny, agreed his temporal counterpart. The Grand Minister inclined his head slightly. What we're witnessing is exceedingly rare, Your Majesties. A mortal achieving perfect Ultra Instinct is unprecedented. In another observation bubble, Vados watched with uncharacteristic intensity. Her usual detached amusement replaced by focused analysis. As sister to Whis and attendant to Universe 6, a god of destruction, she had existed for millions of years, yet found herself genuinely surprised for the first time in millennia. Fascinating, she murmured, her delicate fingers tightening almost imperceptibly around her staff. He's not just using Ultra Instinct, he's become one with it. A peculiar sensation stirred within her immortal being, something dangerously close to admiration. The battle between Goku and Jiren intensified, transcending ordinary combat into something approaching cosmic art. Each movement flowed seamlessly into the next, action and reaction blurring until they became indistinguishable. The silver aura surrounding Goku neither flared with aggression nor diminished with defense. It remained constant, a perfect reflection of his internal state. Universe 7's Goku has achieved something divine, announced the Grand Minister, his voice carrying to all observation areas. The tournament parameters must be adjusted accordingly. A murmur of shock rippled through the divine audience. Never before had the rules of a divine tournament been modified mid-event. Back in the arena, Goku finally spoke, his voice carrying an unusual multi-layered quality. I see you now, Jiren. Not just your techniques or power, I see you. The Pride Trooper's stoic expression faltered momentarily. What nonsense is this? Your strength isn't built on justice alone, Goku continued, moving in perfect harmony with Jiren's increasingly desperate attacks. It's built on loss, on pain. You fight for others because you couldn't protect those who mattered most. Silence, Jiren roared, abandoning his composed fighting style for raw power. You know nothing. I know everything in this moment. Goku replied simply, and I know you're stronger than this. Their exchange created shockwaves that threatened the arena's integrity. Fighters scrambled for STABLE footing as sections of the platform began crumbling into the void below. Halfway across the arena, Caulifla knocked aside an opponent from Universe 3, her attention repeatedly drawn to the silver glow emanating from Goku. Kale, we need to get closer to whatever that Saiyan from Universe 7 is doing, she called to her protege. But Caulifla, shouldn't we be focusing on? Trust me, Caulifla interrupted, eliminating another opponent with a casual energy blast. That power he's using, a true Saiyan wouldn't ignore it. I need to understand it. As they fought their way across the arena, a distortion appeared at its edge, a shimmer in reality that went unnoticed by most combatants. From this spatial anomaly emerged a figure draped in ancient white robes embroidered with silver geometric patterns. Her skin was pale violet, her hair a cascade of midnight blue that seemed to contain pinpricks of starlight. Her eyes, pupilless and shimmering with the same silver luminescence as Goku's aura, widened in disbelief. It cannot be, she whispered, her melodic voice inaudible beneath the bottle's chaos. After 50,000 years, the technique returns, and in such an unlikely vessel. Karina, last daughter of the Void Walkers and final keeper of the Ultra Instinct legacy, had sensed the disturbance across 12 dimensions. What she found defied all her people's prophecies, a mortal sigh. Yan wielding the perfect form of her ancestors' most sacred technique. Meanwhile, the battle between Goku and Jiren reached its crescendo. Jiren, finally unleashing his full power, created a massive energy sphere capable of destroying the entire arena. Let's see your perfect technique handle this, he challenged, compressing the sphere to increase its devastating potential before hurling it directly at Goku. In the observation stands, gods gasped collectively. Beerus leapt to his feet. That attack violates tournament rules. It could kill everyone. The Omni Kings leaned forward, eyes wide with childlike curiosity rather than concern. Let's see what shiny Goku does. As the destructive sphere approached, Goku remained perfectly still, silver eyes reflecting the oncoming doom. Then, without apparent effort, he raised one hand. The devastating attack stopped mid-air, its enormous energy suspended in perfect equilibrium against his palm. Impossible, Belmod, Universe 11's god of destruction, stammered. No mortal should be capable of. He's no longer operating as a typical mortal, Whis interjected. Ultra instinct in its complete form transcends the conventional boundaries between mortal and divine. Goku spoke again, his voice carrying to Jiren despite the maelstrom of energy between them. Your attack contains your conviction, your pain, and your loneliness. I respect that. With an elegant circular motion, he redirected the sphere harmlessly upward, where it dissipated against the tournament's celestial barrier. But strength built on isolation will always be incomplete. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Jiren's face. The Grand Minister descended to hover above the arena. Attention, all fighters and divine observers. The emergence of perfected Ultra. A instinct requires tournament modification. His melodious voice carried effortlessly throughout the void. Combatant Son Goku will face additional restrictions to maintain cosmic balance. Collect. I've gasp rose from Universe 7's observation area. That's not fair. Krillin protested. Jiren's already absurdly powerful. Master Roshi shook his head. No, look closely. Goku has transcended ordinary combat. Whatever's happening is beyond our understanding. The Grand Minister continued. Son Goku may only utilize defensive applications of Ultra Instinct against standard opponents. Full often see. Vei capabilities are permitted solely against fighters above God of Destruction level. A faint smile touched his lips. Additionally, the tournament time limit is extended by 30 minutes. Goku inclined his head in acceptance. The motion fluid and graceful. I understand. In that moment of cosmic negotiation, no one noticed the dark ripple that formed briefly at the void's edge, a shadow that be served with ancient malevolence before vanishing between dimensions. Jiren launched himself forward again, pride demanding he overcome this new development. His attacks came faster, his technique flawless. Yet still he couldn't land a meaningful blow. Goku moved with transcendent economy, each shift in position requiring minimal energy while achieving maximum effect. Why won't you attack? Jiren demanded, frustration finally cracking his stoic facade. The Grand Minister's restrictions, Goku replied simply. I don't need your pity. Goku shook his head, silver eyes reflecting infinite compassion. It's not pity, it's respect for both you and the cosmic order. From her hidden vantage point, Karina observed with increasing astonishment. His intuitive understanding of the technique exceeds even my people's mastery, she thought. How is this possible without the 1,000-year training sequence? Across the arena, other battles continued, but all attention repeatedly returned to the silver glow surrounding Goku. Even his own teammates fought differently, inspired by the transcendent energy radiating from their friend. Caulifla eliminated another opponent, her movements increasingly aggressive as she fought to create a path toward Goku. That power should belong to a true Saiyan warrior who's trained their entire life, she muttered. I need to know how he achieved it. In the stands, Vados found herself moving closer to the barrier separating observers from combatants, her eternal composure giving way to genuine curiosity. Brother, she called to Whis, when did your Saiyan project show signs of this potential? Whis shook his head, equally mystified. There were glimpses during our training, certainly. Moments when his body moved without conscious thought. But this complete integration, it's unprecedented. It disrupts the natural order, Vados noted, though her tone carried no disapproval, only intense interest. Angels train for millions of years to approach this state. Perhaps that's precisely why he achieved it, Whis suggested. He carries no preconceptions about what should be impossible. As their conversation continued, reality trembled again, subtle A mentional fracture spreading outward from the nexus point of Goku's transformation. In distant universes not participating in the tournament, sensitive beings paused as an unexplainable shiver passed through them. Ancient entities slumbering between dimensions stirred restlessly, disturbed by the cosmic anomaly of a mortal wielding divine perfection. In the farthest reaches of creation, deep within the multiversal archives where all possible timelines were recorded and preserved, the cosmic librarian Nirvana looked up from her eternal work with sudden alarm. The massive crystalline repository, why before her, containing the history and future of all realities, displayed an unprecedented error, a timeline branch that appeared from nowhere, unconnected to any known causality pattern. System malfunction, she wondered aloud, her voice echoing through the vast dimensional library. Running slender fingers through short-cropped silver hair, she adjusted her spectacles, worn not from necessity but from aesthetic appreciation of scholarly tradition. Computer, identify timeline anomaly source. The multidimensional interface hummed. Source identified. Universe 7, Tournament of Power event, entity, Son Goku. Detail nature of anomaly. Unprecedented mastery of Ultra Instinct technique. Probability. 0%. Timeline divergence. Absolute. Nirvana's golden eyes widened. In 12,000 years as cosmic librarian, she had never encountered a zero probability event actually manifesting. Prepare my dimensional transit. This requires personal documentation. Back in the Tournament of Power, the battle between Goku and Jiren had reached a philosophical impasse rather than a physical one. Jiren's attacks continued with increasing desperation, while Goku's perfect defense offered neither vulnerability nor counter-offensive. Attack me, Jiren demanded, frustration building. How can you claim to respect me while holding back? I respect the Grand Minister's ruling, Goku replied calmly. Then I shall force his hand. Jiren abruptly changed tactics, blasting away from Goku and targeting Universe 7's remaining fighters. Goku's response came with impossible speed. One moment he stood facing Jiren. The next he materialized between the Pride Trooper and his teammates, redirecting the attack harmlessly away. No teleportation technique had been employed, he had simply moved. With such perfect efficiency that perception couldn't track the transition. My friends aren't your means to provoke me, Goku stated, his tranquil voice carrying an uncharacteristic note of authority. The Grand Minister descended once more. Pride Trooper Jiren, your strategy is understandable but violates the spirit of honorable combat this tournament was founded upon. His perpetual smile remained, but his eyes held ancient warning. Son Goku, given this development, you are granted limited offensive capabilities against contestant Jiren, provided they remain proportional. Goku nodded, Elver eyes reflecting neither eagerness nor reluctance, only perfect acceptance of the moment's requirements. What followed transcended ordinary combat. Goku's attacks contained no wasted motion, no unnecessary force. Each strike landed with mathematical precision, delivering exactly the energy required, no more, no less. Jiren found himself systematically dismantled, his superior raw power rendered irrelevant against perfect efficiency. In the divine observation area, gods of destruction watched with growing unease. If mortals can achieve this state naturally, what purpose do we serve? Belmod questioned, voicing the uncomfortable thought forming in many divine minds. Beerus snorted, don't be dramatic. One Saiyan stumbling into godhood doesn't upend cosmic hierarchy. Doesn't it, though? Countered Quatella, the mouse-like destroyer from Universe 4. The mortal is wielding power that exceeds most of ours. High above them, the childlike Omni-Kings clapped with delight at each exchange. Completely unconcerned with the philosophical implications troubling their divine subordinates. As the battle continued, Caulifla finally managed to position herself near enough to observe Goku's movements clearly. Her Saiyan combat instincts, evolved over countless generations, attempted to analyze what she witnessed, but found no reference point. It's like he exists between moments, she thought. Her usual brash confidence momentarily humbled. His body responds before his opponent even commits to an action. Incredible, isn't it? Came a melodic voice beside her. Caulifla spun, dropping into a defensive stance. She hadn't sensed anyone approach, an alarming failure of perception for a warrior of her caliber. The violet-skinned woman in ancient robes stood watching Goku, seemingly unconcerned with Caulifla's aggressive posture. My people spent 50 millennia perfecting the Ultra Instinct technique. He achieved it in an instant. Who are you? Another fighter. Caulifla demanded, energy flickering around her fists. Karina turned, pupilless silver eyes meeting Caulifla's dark ones. I am the last Void Walker and keeper of the Ultra Instinct legacy. And you, she studied the female Saiyan with ancient wisdom, are experiencing the characteristic response of your species when confronted with power beyond your own, fascination mingled with competitive desire. Caulifla flushed, both angry and unsettled by the accurate assessment. Whatever that technique is, I'm going to master it too. A smile touched Karina's lips. Perhaps you might, young Saiyan. Your race has always defied cosmic limitations. She turned back toward the battle. But understanding will come before mastery. Before Caulifla could respond, the arena trembled violently as Goku and Jiren's exchange intensified. The Pride Trooper had abandoned all restraint, his full power manifesting as a crimson aura that rivaled Goku's silver radiance. Yet for all his tremendous strength, the outcome appeared increasingly inevitable. Goku moved with the serenity of flowing water, each action perfectly attuned to the moment's requirement. In the stands, Vados continued her analysis, speaking more to herself than those around her. He's not just using the technique, he's innovating within it. See how he adapts the energy flow pattern. Even among angels, such creativity within perfect execution is. She paused, searching for an appropriate term. Attractive. Margarita, attendant to Universe 11's god of destruction, suggested with uncharacteristic playfulness. Vados raised a delicate eyebrow, neither confirming nor denying the implication. The battle reached its zenith as Jiren, summoning his absolute limits, created a gravitational singularity designed to trap Goku in place. Let's see your perfect technique overcome physics itself. The arena warped around the localized black hole, light bending as space-time distorted. Fighters throughout the arena struggled against the unexpected gravitational pull, many losing their footing. Goku approached the singularity with measured steps, silver aura undisturbed by the physics-breaking phenomenon. As he reached the event horizon, he didn't fight against it, instead. His body moved in harmony with the distorted space, using the gravitational forces to accelerate rather than hinder his movement. Impossible, gasped Universe 3's scientific-minded god of destruction. He's synchronized his body's movement with the singularity's quantum fluctuations. Jiren's eyes widened as Goku emerged from the other side of the singularity, completely unaffected. In that moment of shock, Goku's counter came, a combination of strikes delivered with such precision that Jiren's energy control shattered. The singularity collapsed, and Jiren fell to one knee, his overwhelming power disrupted by perfectly targeted pressure point strikes. Do you yield? Goku asked quietly. Pride and desperation warred on Jiren's face. Universe 11 depends on me. I cannot. I understand. Goku's expression showed genuine compassion. Then let's continue until resolution is reached. What followed wasn't punishment but demonstration. Goku systematically dismantled Jiren's remaining defenses with minimalist precision, each strike serving the dual purpose of reducing the Pride Troopers' fighting capability while showcasing the gap between their current states. Finally, with one precisely calculated palm strike, Goku sent Jiren sliding toward the arena's edge. The Pride Trooper teetered on the brink, his tremendous power exhausted. This isn't justice, Jiren whispered, his universe's core value seemingly betrayed by his impending defeat. Justice isn't measured solely by victory, Goku replied, the silver light surrounding him pulsing with gentle intensity. Your convictions remain worthy regardless of this outcome. With a final nod of respect, Goku delivered a strike that pushed Jiren over the edge, eliminating Universe 11's strongest fighter. In the observation stands, Team Universe 11 fell silent, the implication of their champion's defeat settling heavily upon them. The Grand Minister descended once more. Pride Trooper Jiren has been eliminated. By tournament rules, Universe 11 shall now be erased. Wait, Goku called, his multi-layered voice carrying newfound authority that caused even the Grand Minister to pause. The childlike Omni Kings leaned forward with interest. Shiny Goku wants to say something. Goku turned toward the divine rulers, silver eyes reflecting infinite cosmos. The purpose of this tournament was to address the imbalance of too many universes existing simultaneously. That purpose is valid, but erasure is an imperfect method. Murmurs of shock rippled through all observation areas. No mortal had ever dared question the Omni King's methods. "Oh, what would you suggest instead, shiny Goku?" asked Zeno with childlike curiosity. "Merger rather than erasure," Goku replied simply. "The worthy aspects of each universe served and integrated rather than lost entirely." The Grand Minister's eyes widened fractionally, the celestial equivalent of profound shock. Such restructuring of reality would require extraordinary divine energy. "I understand." Goku nodded, silver aura brightening. "I offer my Ultra Instinct energy as catalyst." In that moment, something unprecedented occurred. The Omni Kings exchanged glances. Then actually appeared to consider the proposal. "That sounds more interesting than erasure," they declared in unison. "Let's try Goku's way." Reality itself seemed to hold its breath as the Grand Minister processed this divine whim that threatened to overturn cosmic protocol established since time immemorial. His perpetual smile remained, but those knowledgeable in celestial micro-expressions I'd have detected the faintest trace of approval beneath his perfect composure. "As you wish, your majesties. The tournament shall continue, but its purpose is hereby modified. The final universe STANDING shall not survive alone, it shall serve as primary template for universal merger." Shock rippled across every observation platform. Gods whispered urgently to their attendants, trying to comprehend this fundamental shift in cosmic fate. In her hidden observation point, Karina's ancient eyes widened. "The prophecy," she whispered. "Not the end of worlds, but their transformation." She studied Goku with newfound reverence. The harbinger of harmonic convergence takes a form none could have anticipated. Across dimensions in her multiversal library, Nirvana registered the unprecedented change to cosmic law with trembling hands. Computer, probability calculation for spontaneous alteration of Omni King directive based on mortal suggestion. Incalculable. No historical precedent exists. For the first time in her 12,000-year career, Nirvana closed her record book and stood. This requires immediate personal investigation. A being dedicated to documenting all possibilities, he found herself confronted with the genuinely unprecedented, a scholar's greatest fear and most profound excitement. Back in the arena, the remaining fighters processed the implications of this cosmic shift. Some fought with renewed vigor, others with growing uncertainty. Throughout it all, Goku's silver form moved with perfect efficiency, eliminating opponents with the minimum necessary force to ensure tournament rules were satisfied. Caulifla watched with increasing determination, her Saiyan pride both wounded and inspired by the display. "Teach me," she finally demanded, approaching Goku directly despite the risk. Goku turned, silver eyes perceiving layers of her being beyond physical form, her ambition, pride, potential, and the deep-seated need for acknowledgement that drove her relentless pursuit of power. "Your path to this technique would differ from mine," he observed, easily sidestepping an attack from another fighter without shifting his attention from Caulifla. "Your approach to combat is structured by conscious thought rather than intuitive response. Are you saying I can't learn it?" she challenged, reflexively dropping into a fighting stance. "I'm saying your journey would require unlearning as much as learning." Despite the battle raging around them, Goku's attention remained perfectly divided between combat necessity and their conversation. "But the potential exists within you." Something in his assessment, the lack of condescension, the genuine recognition of her capability, struck Caulifla differently than any interaction she'd experienced before. Before she could respond, a massive energy blast from Toppo, Universe 11's second strongest fighter, forced them apart. In the divine observation area, Vados continued studying Goku's movements with increasing fascination. "The integration appears completely stable," she noted to Whis. "Most beings experience Ultra Instinct as a temporary state. His cells appear to have permanently reorganized to accommodate the divine energy flow." "Indeed," Whis agreed. "I believe we're witnessing the emergence of something beyond our standard classification system." "You sound pleased," Vados observed, a subtle note of accusation in her melodic voice. "Evolution is intrinsically fascinating, sister." Whis smiled enigmatically. "Even, perhaps especially, when it disrupts established order." Vados considered this, her immortal perspective allowing her to perceive implications across millennial timescales. "The Angel's position as exclusive wielders of perfect technique is compromised." Or enhanced by new perspective, Whis countered. Consider the possibility that our unchanging nature has created limitations we cannot perceive from within our own paradigm. This philosophical exchange between immortals was interrupted as the tournament reached a new critical phase. Only 20 fighters remained across all universes, with Goku's perfect execution having systematically reduced the field while preserving his teammates. Beerus leaned forward, uncharacteristic hope brightening his features. Universe 7 might actually survive this. More than survive, the Supreme Kai whispered. If Goku's merger proposal is implemented, our universe becomes the template for cosmic restructuring. In the arena, Karina continued her surreptitious observation, occasionally repositioning to avoid detection by tournament officials. Her ancient knowledge recognized something the others missed: subtle dimensional fractures spreading outward from Goku's silver aura, microscopic ruptures in reality's fabric. The mortal Vessel wasn't properly prepared for full integration, she realized with growing concern. The technique is stable, but reality around him isn't. These fractures, invisible to most observers, represented the first manifestation of consequences that would soon cascade across all dimensions. The natural order, disrupted by Goku's unprecedented mastery, began compensatory adjustments, cosmic immune response to a divine anomaly. Amid this building interdimensional pressure, another spatial distortion formed at the arena's edge. Unlike Karina's controlled entrance, this rupture tore violently across dimensional barriers, causing even the Omni Kings to look up with sudden attention. From this ragged wound in reality emerged a towering figure wrapped in darkness that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. Ancient armor of midnight metal covered a form both humanoid and alien, with proportions that subtly disturbed perception. Where a face should have been, only a reflective obsidian mask existed, featureless except for silver lines tracing complex geometric patterns across its surface. Chronos, Karina whispered, ancient fear cracking her composed demeanor. The Grand Minister immediately appeared before the intruder. Staff raised defensively. This tournament is conducted under divine protection. Identify yourself and state your purpose. The dark figure seemed to regard the Celestia attendant with something approaching amusement, though no expression could form on its featureless mask. When it spoke, its voice resonated with discordant harmonics that caused several lesser beings to cover their ears in pain. I come for what is mine. The mask turned toward Goku, silver lines pulsing with ancient malevolence. The technique has returned. The seal is broken. The cycle begins anew. Goku turned toward the entity, his silver eyes narrowing as Ultra Instinct's perfect awareness perceived layers of reality beyond ordinary comprehension. You created this technique, he stated rather than asked. Created, perfected, had stolen. The disjointed syntax carried eons of bitterness. Now reclaim. The Grand Minister's eternally pleasant expression hardened slightly. This being exists outside standard multiverse law, he informed the Omni Kings. Its presence represents a Class 4 cosmic intrusion. The childlike rulers blinked in confusion. Is it dangerous? Potentially extinction level, the Grand Minister replied with characteristic understatement. Before further action could be taken, Chronos raised one armored hand. Reality shuddered as temporal distortion spread outward, freezing lesser beings in mid-motion as time itself paused selectively. Only Goku, the highest celestials, and a few beings with unusual temporal resistance remained unaffected. Among these, Caulifla found herself still mobile, protected by the proximity of Goku's silver aura. Karina too remained active, her people's ancient connection to Ultra Instinct providing natural immunity to temporal manipulation. The destroyer returns, Chronos intoned, advancing toward Goku. The thief's descendant wields what was taken. Goku's stance shifted subtly, perfect defense adapting to this new threat. Knowledge cannot be stolen if freely discovered, he replied, wisdom beyond his usual understanding flowing through his transformed consciousness. The response seemed to enrage Chronos. The geometric patterns on his mask pulsed with increasing intensity. Lies taught by the Void Walkers. They stole. They corrupted. They scattered my perfect creation across dimensions. Your creation was incomplete, came Karina's voice as she stepped forward, ancient responsibility overcoming self-preservation. You understood the technique's mechanics but not its heart. Chronos turned toward her, the temperature around him dropping precipitously. Last daughter of thieves, your extinction is long overdue. The Grand Minister intervened, his staff creating a barrier between the combatants. T.S. tournament operates under divine protection. Your grievance, while noted, must be addressed through proper cosmic channels. Divine laws are meaningless, Kronos replied dismissively. I existed before your pantheon organized the current multiverse. My claim predates your authority. The Omni Kings floated down from their observation platform, childlike curiosity overriding standard protocol. You're very rude, they observed in unison. And scary looking. Kronos turned toward the multiverse's supreme rulers, his mask revealing no reaction to their deceptively innocent appearance. Even you are temporary. Cosmic cycles turn. Rulers rise and fall. Only the primal forces endure. Goku stepped forward, silver aura pulsing with tranquil intensity. Whatever your grievance with the past, these beings here now aren't responsible. I discovered this technique through my own journey. Impossible, Kronos dismissed. The sequence requires millennia of preparation. The mortal mind cannot contain divinity without shattering. Perhaps that's where your understanding was incomplete, Goku suggested, his voice carrying neither challenge nor disrespect, only observation. You approached Ultra Instinct as conquest. I approached it as harmony. Something in this assessment penetrated Kronos' ancient hatred. The pulsing patterns on his mask hesitated in their aggressive rhythm. Explain. I don't control this power. Goku continued, silver eyes reflecting infinite awareness. I synchronized with it. There's no separation between myself and the technique. We exist as unified expression. For the first time, uncertainty entered Kronos' multitonal voice. Synchronization without domination. Yes. Goku extended his hand, silver energy flowing around it in complex patterns. I can show you. The observation areas fell utterly silent. Gods in attendance watched with collective breath held as cosmic history unfolded before them, a mortal offering understanding to a primordial entity. Kronos regarded the extended hand with ancient suspicion. Deception. No deception, Goku assured him. Just perspective. After what seemed an eternity, Kronos extended his own armored hand. As their energies connected, a shockwave of silver light exploded outward, temporarily blinding all observers. When vision returned, both figures stood motionless, connected by a bridge of pulsing energy. They're sharing consciousness, Whis explained softly to the confused onlookers. Ultra Instinct in its purest form transcends individual perception. Caulifla watched with undisguised fascination. Her natural Saiyan hunger for advancement deepening into something more profound, recognition that power could manifest through harmony rather than merely through domination. After several minutes of this silent communion, the energy bridge dissipated. Kronos stepped back, the aggressive posture of his armored form noticeably altered. Incomplete, he acknowledged, mask turning toward Karina. Void Walker, your ancestors spoke truth I refused to hear. Karina's ancient eyes widened with shock. You accept this. The evidence exists before me. Kronos gestured toward Goku. The mortal has achieved what I could not despite millennia of effort. His understanding surpasses my creation. The Grand Minister lowered his staff slightly, cosmic awareness perceiving the genuine shift in the ancient entity. Does this resolve your grievance? It transforms it. Kronos' mask turned toward the Omni Kings. Divine rulers, I withdraw my claim of theft. The technique has evolved beyond my original design. The childlike gods clapped with delight. Good. We didn't want to erase you anyway. You look interesting. With ceremonial formality, Kronos bowed toward Goku. What was mine is now rightfully yours. The cycle takes unexpected form. Before anyone could respond further, another dimensional rupture formed, this one a perfect circle of golden light. From it stepped a petite figure with short silver hair, golden eyes magnified by scholarly spectacles, and formal attire resembling a cosmic librarian's uniform. Event classification required, Nirvana announced, digital tablet in hand. Unregistered timeline convergence detected. Her eyes widened as she took in the assembled beings. Oh, multiple cosmic entities present. This exceeds standard documentation protocols. The Grand Minister sighed with the infinite patience of one who manages divine bureaucracy. Multiversal Archivist Nirvana, your arrival, while procedurally correct, is poorly timed. We are resolving a Class 4 cosmic intrusion, which has now generated a Class 2 timeline anomaly, Nirvana responded, adjusting her spectacles. My presence is absolutely required by Multiversal Documentation Statute 7b, paragraph. Yes, yes, the Grand Minister interrupted with uncharacteristic impatience. Your observation rights are acknowledged. Please maintain non-interference protocols. Nirvana nodded, golden eyes continuously darting between Goku, Chronos, and the frozen tournament participants. Her fingers flew across her tablet, recording observations with scholarly precision. Goku, still radiating silver serenity, addressed the assembled cosmic entities. The tournament requires resolution, and dimensional stability is deteriorating. Perhaps we should return to the established proceedings. The Grand Minister smiled approvingly. Well observed, Son Goku. Chronos, as your grievance has been addressed, I must request your withdrawal from these proceedings. The ancient entity inclined his masked head. I shall observe from the void between dimensions. The outcome holds significance beyond mortal understanding. With a gesture, he tore another hole in reality and stepped through the rupture ceiling behind him. Well, that was unexpected, the Omni Kings declared with childlike enthusiasm. The tournament is more interesting than we thought. With another gesture from the Grand Minister, time resumed its normal flow. Fighters frozen in mid-action suddenly continued, most entirely unaware of the cosmic confrontation that had transpired. Caulifla, one of the few who had witnessed everything, approached Goku with newfound respect underlying her usual aggressive confidence. That silver technique, Ultra Instinct, I want to learn it. Goku regarded her with perfect awareness, saying not just her physical form but the complex tapestry of motivations, potential, and character beneath. For the first time, he perceived others with complete clarity, understanding their essential nat. You're rather than merely their surface presentation. Your path would differ from mine, he repeated his earlier assessment. But I believe you have the necessary foundation. Will you teach me? The question contained none of her usual demanding tone, instead, it carried genuine inquiry. Before Goku could answer, the Grand Minister's voice rang out. Combatants, resume your positions. The tournament continues under modified parameters. The victor's universe shall become the template for cosmic restructuring. Reality stabilized as the tournament returned to its intended purpose, though fundamental. Tally altered by the events that had transpired. Throughout the arena, fighters who had witnessed fragments of the cosmic confrontation fought with renewed determination, understanding that victory meant something far more profound than mere survival. In the divine observation area, Vados continued her analysis of Goku's transformed state, her immortal curiosity evolving into something dangerously close to personal interest. The mortal's consciousness has expanded beyond conventional limitations, she noted to her brother. His perception likely extends into dimensional ranges previously accessible only to celestial beings. Indeed, Whis agreed, studying her with subtle amusement. One might almost describe your analysis as enthusiastic, sister. Vados raised an elegant eyebrow but offered no denial. As the tournament proceeded, Goku moved with increasing harmony, his Ultra Instinct mastery deepening with each moment of experience. Where before he had been a formidable fighter, he now existed as something unprecedented, a nexus point where mortal determination met divine principle, creating something greater than either could achieve alone. High above, the childlike Omni Kings watched with growing excitement, their usual casual erasure of universes replaced by genuine interest in this new path of cosmic evolution. Beside them, the Grand Minister observed with the red assessment of one who had witnessed countless cosmic cycles, yet found himself genuinely surprised by this unexpected development. The mortal has initiated harmonic restructuring, he mused, Spia. King more to himself than to his divine charges. The implications will resonate across all creation. As if in response to this observation, the silver aura surrounding Goku pulsed with increasing brilliance, sending ripples of transformation energy throughout the tournament arena. Fighters from all universes momentarily paused, sensing something profound occurring beyond their comprehension. In that moment of cosmic significance, Son Goku, once a simple warrior from a backwater planet, stood at the center of universal transformation, his journey only beginning. Chapter 2. Resonance Beyond Boundaries. The aftermath of the tournament of power sent ripples across all 12 universes. What should have been a simple return to normalcy instead became the catalyst for unprecedented cosmic change. Rather than erasure, The Omni Kings had decreed universal merger, a fundamental restructuring of reality with Universe 7 as the primary template. More shocking still was the source of this transformate. Ion, a mortal Saiyan who had mastered Ultra Instinct to perfection. Son Goku stood in the quiet pre-dawn light outside his modest mountain home, silver eyes reflecting the fading stars. Though he had released the active manifestation of Ultra Instinct, its essence remained integrated within him. His consciousness existed simultaneously in the present moment and beyond it, aware of the gentle morning breeze against his skin and the subtle gravitational shifts of distant planets. "You haven't slept," observed a gentle voice behind him. Goku turned to see Chi-Chi, her concerned expression visible even in the dim light. Since his return from the tournament 3 days ago, she had watched him with growing unease, recognizing that something fundamental had changed in her husband beyond mere power increase. "Sleep feels different now," he explained, struggling to articulate the experience. "My body rests while my awareness continues." Chi-Chi approached cautiously, studying his face. The physical changes were subtle but unmistakable, a preternatural stillness in his movements, eyes that reflected silver in certain light, an indefinable sense of something ancient residing within the familiar. "You're still you, aren't you?" she asked quietly, voicing the fear that had grown since his return. Goku's expression softened with compassion deeper than he'd been capable of expressing before. "I am," he assured her. "But also more than I was." He gently took her hand, his touch exactly as warm and reassuring as it had always been. "I perceive everything differently now, connections I never noticed, patterns I couldn't see before." "Connections," Chi-Chi repeated, an inexplicable sadness tinging her voice. "You're connected to something beyond us now, aren't you?" Before Goku could respond, a familiar energy signature approached from above. Whis descended gracefully from the morning sky, his perpetual smile containing an unusual hint of urgency. "Good morning. I apologize for the early intrusion." The angelic attendant greeted them with customary politeness. "I'm afraid I need to borrow your husband, Chi-Chi. Cosmic matters require immediate attention." Chi-Chi's expression hardened with practiced resignation. "It's always something, isn't it?" Her voice carried no real anger, only weariness at the universe's endless demands on her family. Goku embraced her gently. "I'll return soon," he promised, his heightened awareness perceiving the complex tapestry of emotions behind her composed exterior: love, fear, resignation, and an unspoken understanding that their relationship had entered uncharted territory. As Whis transported them across dimensional boundaries, Goku observed the celestial pathways with new comprehension. What had once appeared as simple tunnels of light now revealed themselves as complex networks of space-time filaments, each strand carrying information between dimensional planes. "You perceive the true nature of celestial transit now," Whis noted with approval. "Most mortals, even gods, see only the surface manifestation. Everything contains layers I never noticed before," Goku replied. "It's like I spent my life seeing shadows and now perceive the objects casting them." Whis studied him with scholarly interest. "Your integration with Ultra Instinct continues to deepen. Most fascinating." They materialized on Beerus's planet, where an unexpected assembly awaited. Beerus himself lounged on his floating chair, affecting casual disinterest despite the tension evident in his twitching ears. Beside him stood the Supreme Kai, nervously shifting his weight. More surprisingly, Vados and Champa from Universe 6 were present, along with 2 unfamiliar figures. Goku recognized the first immediately from the tournament: Nirvana, the cosmic librarian, who had appeared during his confrontation with Kronos. She sat cross-legged on a floating crystal platform, golden eyes focused on multiple holographic displays that shimmered with dimensional coordinates. The second stranger stood apart from the others, methodically adjusting what appeared to be scientific equipment. Her skin shimmered with subtle iridescence against deep blue coloration, while her hair, a crystalline structure rather than organic filaments, refracted light into prismatic patterns. She wore a utilitarian outfit covered in equipment pouches, scanner devices, and collection vials. "Ah, there he is, the anomaly himself," the blue-skinned woman declared upon noticing Goku. "Extraordinary energy signature, completely unprecedented harmonic pattern." She approached with scientific enthusiasm, scanner device extended. "I am Drive, Zella, dimensional energy specialist from Universe 3. Your Ultra Instinct manifestation has created the most fascinating quantum disruption. May I collect a cellular sample? Before Goku could respond, Beerus interrupted with an irritated growl. Enough scientific babbling. We're facing a potential multiversal crisis. That's precisely my point, Zella countered, unfazed by the god of destruction's intimidating tone. The energy signature is propagating across dimensional boundaries in a geometric progression. Fascinating from a research perspective. Potentially catastrophic from an existential one. Whis cleared his throat delicately. Perhaps we should explain the situation to Goku. Nirvana looked up from her holographic displays, adjusting her spectacles with scholarly precision. The situation is unprecedented, to state it plainly. Son Goku's mastery of Ultra Instinct has created a completely unrecorded timeline branch. Worse, the energy pattern is destabilizing interdimensional boundaries. In simpler terms, Beerus interjected, reality is developing cracks, and you're the cause. Goku absorbed this information, his expanded awareness immediately grasping implications that would have eluded his former self. The technique wasn't meant for mortal vessels, he observed. My mastery created an imbalance. Precisely, Zella exclaimed with inappropriate scientific enthusiasm. Your cellular structure is simultaneously mortal and transcendent, a quantum impossibility that reality itself is struggling to reconcile. Vados, who had remained characteristically composed throughout the exchange, finally spoke. There's more. Chronos has begun moving against those connected to you. Her melodic voice carried unusual gravity. 3 of your friends were attacked yesterday. Alarm rippled through Goku's tranquil awareness. Who are they? They're unharmed, Whis assured him. Piccolo, Krillin, and Master Roshi each rapport. Ted encountering shadowy entities that seem specifically interested in their connection to you. When confronted, these entities retreated into dimensional rifts. Reconnaissance, Vados assessed coolly. Chronos is gathering information about your relationships and vulnerabilities. Goku's silver eyes narrowed slightly. He agreed to withdraw his claim after understanding my perspective on Ultra Instinct. Perhaps, Nirvana interjected, consulting her records, but my archives contain numerous instances of Chronos employing strategic deception across multiple timelines. His ancient nature predates conventional ethical frameworks. The Supreme Kai stepped forward, wringing his hands nervously. There's another complication. The cosmic restructuring decreed by the Omni Kings is scheduled to begin in 17 days. If dimensional stability isn't restored before then, he didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone present understood the implications of attempting universal merger. Amid dimensional instability, catastrophic reality collapse affecting all 12 universes simultaneously. So, Beerus summarized with characteristic bluntness, we need to find a way to stabilize your Ultra Instinct. Defeat an ancient entity who predates the gods, and prepare for cosmic restructuring, all within 17 days. His ears flattened against his head. I miss the days when our biggest problem was just tournament fighting. Quote, Whis tapped his staff thoughtfully against the ground. Perhaps we're approaching this incorrectly. Rather than viewing Ultra Instinct as the problem, we should consider it the solution. All eyes turned toward the angelic attendant. Explain, demanded Champa, speaking for the first time. Ultra Instinct in its perfect form harmonizes with the underlying structure of reality, Whis elaborated. If Goku could extend this harmonization beyond himself to the dimensional boundaries his transformation has affected. Cosmic stabilization through resonant frequency matching. Zella exclaimed, eyes widening with scientific revelation. Theoretically possible, though never before attempted at multiversal scale. It would require perfect control, Vados added, her penetrating gaze assessing Goku with new intensity. More than mere mastery. Complete integration of every aspect of Ultra Instinct, including elements typically accessible only to celestial beings. I'll need to train differently, Goku concluded, instantly grasping the concept. Not to increase power, but to refine perception and expand awareness. Yes, Whis agreed, but conventional training methods won't suffice. You'll need instructors familiar with different aspects of Ultra Instinct's complete expression. Vados stepped forward with unexpected decisiveness. I will assist with dimensional perception training. When her brother raised an eyebrow at this uncharacteristic volunteering, she added, the stakes justify exceptional measures. I can provide quantum energy control protocols, offered Zella. Already calculating formulas on a holographic interface. Universe 3 has extensive research on harmonic resonance patterns. And came a new voice from behind them. Will teach the meditative foundations your celestial friends have neglected. Everyone turned as reality shimmered, revealing Karina stepping through a dimensional fold. The last void walker's silver eyes assessed the gathered beings with ancient wisdom. Your arrival is conveniently timed, Beerus observed suspiciously. Hardly convenient, Karina replied. I've been monitoring this gathering since it began. The dimensional distortions make observation trivially easy for those with appropriate perception. She turned toward Goku. Your transformation has accelerated a cosmic cycle that should have taken millennia to complete. Appropriate training is now essential, not just for your survival, but for all realities. We should begin immediately, Whis decided. Time functions differently across damaged dimensional boundaries. Our 17 days might experience significant subjective variation. As the cosmic entities discussed training protocols, a silent figure observed from between dimensional planes. Chronos hovered in the void space where realities overlapped, his obsidian mask reflecting distorted images of the gathering. Behind him floated 12 shadowy entities, vaguely hung. Anoid forms composed of shifting darkness. The mortal's connection to Ultra Instinct deepens, he observed, multitonal voice echoing in the dimensional void. His potential exceeds original assessment. One shadow entity drifted forward. When it spoke, its voice resembled breaking glass. The reconnaissance is complete, Master. We have identified his primary emotional connections. Excellent. See. Hirono studied the interdimensional coordinates displayed in glowing silver script before him. Begin Phase 2. Target the female Saiyan from Universe 6. Her ambition makes her vulnerable to influence. To what purpose? Questioned another shadow. The technique cannot be reclaimed directly, Chronos explained. But it can be corrupted through those connected to its vessel. Plant the seeds of imbalance. And Ultra Instinct will destabilize from within. The shadows dispersed silently, slipping between dimensional fractures toward their unsuspecting target. Meanwhile, in Universe 6, Caulifla stood atop a rocky plateau. Frustration evident in her rigid posture. 3 days of intense training had yielded minimal progress toward understanding Ultra Instinct. This is impossible, she growled, punching a boulder and reducing it to rubble. How am I supposed to move without thinking, when the instruction itself requires thinking? Beside her, Kale watched with concerned loyalty. Maybe you're trying too hard, Caulifla. You always say fighting should feel natural. This isn't fighting, it's something else entirely. Caulifla dropped into a cross-legged position, scowling at the horizon. Since witnessing Goku's silver transformation at the tournament, she had been consumed with achieving the same state. Not merely for power, though that motivation certainly existed, but because she glimpsed something transcendent that challenged her understanding of what strength truly meant. A dimensional rift shimmered before them, interrupting her brooding. Caulifla leapt to her feet, instinctively moving protective in front of Kale. Who's there? Show yourself. Rather than an attacker, Vados emerged from the rift with characteristic grace, followed by Goku himself. Caulifla's eyes widened at their unexpected appearance. Though she quickly masked her surprise with practiced bravado. Finally decided to teach me that technique properly, she demanded, addressing Goku directly. Goku studied her with silver-tinged eyes, his perception extending beyond physical appearance to the complex emotional currents beneath. Ambition intertwined with insecurity, fierce independence masking deep-seated desire for connection. Pride concealing genuine admiration. I need your help, he stated simply. Of all possible responses, this one caught Caulifla most off guard. My help. Ultra INCT has created dimensional instabilities, Vados explained clinically. Stabilization requires training with individuals possessing complementary energy signatures. Your particular Saiyan energy res. Onyate's at a frequency that could potentially accelerate Goku's harmonization process. Caulifla crossed her arms, instinctively suspicious. So I help you stabilize your fancy new power, and what do I get in return? A universal merger instead of erasure, Vados replied dryly, and perhaps insight into the technique you've been futilely attempting to master for the past 3 days. Heat rushed Caulifla's cheeks, both from being so transparently red and from the prospect of legitimate Ultra Instinct training. She covered her momentary discomfort with aggression. Fine. But I'm not going to sigh on you just because you've got shiny eyes now. Goku smiled, the expression carrying new depths of understanding. I wouldn't expect you to. What followed was unlike any training Caulifla had experienced. Rather than conventional sparring, Goku guided her through forms that emphasized flow rather than power, connection rather than dominance. Their energy signatures, while radically different in development, shared fundamental Saiyan characteristics that created natural harmonic resonance when properly aligned. Combat isn't just about opposition, Goku explained as they moved through synchronized kata. It's about conversation between energies. Easy for you to say when you've already mastered the technique, Caulifla grumbled, though she maintained perfect form despite her complaint. I haven't mastered it, Goku corrected, his movement seamlessly transitioning between stances. I've synchronized with it. There's a difference. What difference? Caulifla challenged, matching his movements with increasing fluidity. Mastery implies domination. Synchronization is partnership. As he spoke, silver energy began subtly outlining his form. Ultra instinct isn't something you possess, it's something you express. Something in his explanation resonated beyond intellectual understanding. For a brief moment, Caulifla felt her consciousness expand, perceiving the energy flows between them as tangible streams rather than abstract concepts. The sensation vanished almost immediately, but left her breathless with revelation. I felt something, she whispered, momentarily forgetting her practiced tough exterior. Goku nodded, genuine pleasure warming his expression. The first glimpse is always momentary. But once experienced, it can be found again. Unknown to either of them, shadowy tendrils observed from dimensional fractures nearby. The entities sent by Kronos watched with malevolent patience, awaiting the perfect moment to implement their master's design. As Goku and Caulifla continued their synchronized training, Vados observed with analytical precision, occasionally offering adjustments with her staff. Behind her composed exterior, however, the angelic attendant experienced unfamiliar emotional currents. For millions of years, she had maintained perfect celestial detachment, observing mortal development with clinical interest rather than personal investment. Yet something about Goku's transformed state disrupted this immortal equilibrium. His ultra instinct manifestation operated on frequencies typically accessible only to celestial beings, creating a bridge between mortal and divine consciousness that should have been impossible. More disturbing still was her growing appreciation for the unique perspective his mortal origin brought to divine power, innovatio. And an adaptability where angels possessed only perfect execution of established patterns. A dangerous line of thought, she silently admonished herself. Angels were prohibited from developing personal attachments to mortals precisely because such connections risked disrupting cosmic hierarchies. Yet the existence of ultra instinct in mortal form had already fundamentally altered those hierarchies. In the face of unprecedented cosmic change, did ancient prohibitions still apply? As Vados contemplated these uncomfortable questions, a dimensional ripple manifested beside her. Karina emerged, our eyes immediately assessing the training duo. Their energy synchronization progresses well, the Void Walker observed. But we must accelerate the process. Kronos has begun mobilizing forces across multiple dimensions. Vados raised an elegant eyebrow. You've been monitoring him. For 50,000 years, Karina confirmed grimly. My people's primary purpose was containing his influence after the original Ultra Instinct theft. She studied Goku thoughtfully. Though theft seems increasingly inaccurate terminology. The technique has evolved beyond its creator's understanding. How extensive are Kronos' forces? Vados inquired, celestial mind already calculating strategic implications. More numerous than expected, the dimensional fractures have allowed him to retrieve shadowed aspects of himself from parallel timelines. Karina's expression darkened. Each shadow possesses a fragment of his power and complete devotion to his purpose. Before they could discuss further, a shout from Caulifla interrupted their conversation. During an especially complex sequence, her foot had slipped on loose gravel, disrupting the energy flow between her and Goku. The momentary imbalance readed a vulnerability that the watching shadows immediately exploited. Darkness erupted from a nearby dimensional crack, coalescing into three shadowy figures that launched themselves toward Caulifla. Moving with perfect ultra instinct, Goku intercepted 2 attackers instantly. The third, however, reached its target, not to physically harm, but to momentarily merge its essence with her energy signature. Caulifla. Kale cried out in alarm as her friend collapsed to one knee, dark energy briefly visible coursing through her aura. Goku dispatched the remaining shadows with precise strikes that dissolved their forms back into primordial darkness. He immediately turned toward Caulifla, Silver Eyes perceiving the subtle corruption attempting to establish itself within her energy pattern. Something's wrong, Caulifla gasped, clutching her chest. My energy feels contaminated. Vados appeared beside her instantly, staff glowing as she conducted a celestial assessment. Kronos' influence, she confirmed. A corruption seed designed to destabilize harmonic resonance. Can it be removed? Goku asked, concern evident beneath his tranquil exterior. Not conventionally, Karina interjected, kneeling beside Caulifla. The corruption integrates with the host's natural energy signature, making separation nearly impossible without damaging the soul itself. Caulifla's eyes widened with alarm. So I'm just stuck with this darkness inside me? Not necessarily, Goku replied, Silver Eyes reflecting sudden insight. He knelt before Caulifla, meeting her gaze directly. Ultra Instinct perceives energy at its fundamental level. If I can synchronize perfectly with your energy signature, I might be able to isolate the corruption. Such intervention would create a profound connection, Vados warned, studying him intently. Energy synchronization at that level borders on spiritual fusion. What does that mean exactly? Caulifla demanded, wincing as the corruption spread deeper. It means, Karina explained gently, that aspects of your consciousness would be temporarily shared. Memories, emotions, perspectives, all briefly experienced by both participants. Caulifla's pride immediately bristled at the vulnerability such exposure would entail. Yet the growing darkness within her energy left little choice. Fine, she agreed through gritted teeth. Just get this thing out of me. Goku nodded, settling into a meditative position facing her. Try to relax your mind. Fighting the connection will make isolation more difficult. Easy for you to say, she muttered, reluctantly mirroring his position. As their knees touched, Goku extended his hands palms upward. After a moment's hesitation, Caulifla placed her hands atop his. The contact initiated an immediate energy respawn. Silver light from Goku meeting the crimson glow of Caulifla's Saiyan aura. Where they merged, the corruption appeared as writhing shadows attempting to disrupt the harmonious flow. For Caulifla, experience transcended ordinary consciousness. Her perception expanded exponentially, briefly touching the cosmic awareness that Ultra Instinct provided. Simultaneously, Goku's essence flowed through her energy pathways, not as invasion but as supportive presence, seeking the corruption without disrupting her fundamental nature. More intimate than the energy exchange were the emotional and memory impressions that passed between them. Caulifla experienced fragments of Goku's journey, his innocent beginnings, countless battles, the quiet joy of friendship, the responsibility of protecting others. She felt his transformation into Ultra Instinct not as triumph but as harmonious recognition, like remembering something long forgotten. Simultaneously, Goku perceived Caulifla's experiences, her childhood struggles in Universe 6, a harsher environment, fierce independence born from early loss, the protective shell constructed around genuine vulnerability, her deep-seated need to prove herself worthy through strength. Most striking was experiencing her perception of him. Initial dismissal transformed through observation into reluctant respect, and ultimately into something more complex that she herself hadn't fully acknowledged. As their consciousness intertwined, Goku isolated the corruption seed. Unlike conventional energy, which could be directly manipulated, Kronos' influence possessed insidious intelligence, attempting to hide within Caulifla's natural energy fluctuations. With perfect precision born of Ultra Instinct, Goku separated the foreign energy without disturbing Caulifla's life force. The entire process lasted less than a minute in objective time, though subjectively both participants experienced it as much longer. When awareness returned to normal parameters, the corruption hovered between them, a pulsing orb of malevolent darkness contained within Goku's silver energy field. Extraction successful, Vados observed with approval. Karina stepped forward, producing a crystalline container from within her robes. This will contain it for analysis. As the corruption was secured, Caulifla and Goku remained momentarily frozen, eyes locked as they processed the profound intimacy of what they'd just experienced. Caulifla recovered first, pulling her hands away with uncharacteristic gentleness rather than her usual abruptness. That was, she began, struggling to find appropriate words. I know, Goku replied simply, understanding completely. An uncomfortable heat rushed to Caulifla's cheeks. The shared consciousness had revealed aspects of herself she rarely acknowledged, even privately, including emerging feelings toward the Universe 7 Saiyan that went beyond mere competitive respect. Worse, she now knew with certainty that he was aware of these feelings. Rather than embarrassment, however, Goku's response was one of genuine appreciation. Your perspective helped me understand aspects of Ultra Instinct I hadn't recognized, he told her, eyes reflecting silver warmth. Your approach to energy is fundamentally different from mine, more intuitive in some ways, more structured in others. This unexpected affirmation, respecting her as warrior and individual rather than addressing the emotional undercurrents, allowed Caulifla to regain her equilibrium. Well, she declared with something approaching her normal confidence, of course you learned something. Universe 6 Saiyans have always been more evolved. The moment of tension dissolved into something approaching comfortable camaraderie. Yet beneath the surface, something fundamental had changed. Between them, a connection established that transcended ordinary relationship categories. Observing this exchange, Vados experienced an unfamiliar sensation that, in mortals, might have been identified as jealousy. The emotion was so foreign to her angelic nature that she failed to recognize it immediately, categorizing it instead as professional concern about emotional entanglements disrupting cosmic balance. Karina, with her ancient perceptiveness, noticed this subtle shift in the angelic being's energy signature. Fascinating how Ultra Instinct disrupts established patterns, she observed cryptically. Silver eyes reflecting knowing amusement. Before Vados could respond, another dimensional rift manifested, this one a perfect circle of golden light characteristic of official cosmic transit. Nirvana stepped through, digital tablet in hand, an expression unusually animated for the normally reserved cosmic librarian. Critical update, she announced without preamble. Analysis of Dimensity. Onal fracture patterns indicates accelerated timeline convergence. The 17-day window has compressed to 12 days due to temporal distortion effects. That's impossible, Vados objected. Temporal compression of that magnitude would require deliberate manipulation, Nirvana finished, adjusting her spectacles with agitated precision. Someone is actively accelerating the timeline toward cosmic restructuring. All eyes turned toward the crystal container holding the extracted corruption seed. Chronos, Karina whispered. This attack wasn't merely about disrupting harmonic training. It was designed to gather chronometric data for temporal manipulation. We need to expand our approach, Goku concluded, rising to his feet with fluid grace. Stabilizing my Ultra Instinct is necessary but insufficient. We must address the dimensional fractures directly. That would require accessing the nexus points where realities intersect, Vados noted, celestial mind calculating possibilities. Such locations are typically inaccessible to mortals. The ancient temple of convergence, Karina suggested after a thoughtful pause. My ancestors constructed it at the primary junction of dimensional pathways. Its architecture was specifically designed to allow consciousness to perceive and influence interdimensional fabric. I've never heard of such a temple in any cosmic registry, Nirvana objected. Consulting her records with scholarly skepticism. Its existence was deliberately obscured from cosmic record, Karina explained. After the original Ultra Instinct conflict with Chronos, my people recognized the danger of dimensional manipulation. The temple was hidden between reality planes to prevent misuse. Can you access it? Goku asked. Karina's expression grew troubled. Alone? No. The protective seals require multiple harmonic signatures for activation. In the ancient days, a minimum of 7 fully trained Void Walkers would perform the opening ceremony. Her silver eyes assessed those present. But perhaps with Ultra Instinct serving as primary resonance key, and the rest of us providing harmonic support. It's theoretically viable, Nirvana acknowledged, calculations flying across her tablet. Though the probability of successful synchronization without proper training is approximately 18.7%. We need to improve those odds, Goku stated with simple conviction. How quickly can we assemble everyone with potential harmonic compatibility? I've been conducting preliminary analysis, came Zella's voice as another dimensional portal opened. The scientific researcher stepped through, surrounded by floating holographic displays showing complex energy pattern comparisons. Based on quantum resonance signatures, I've identified 5 individuals whose energy patterns show optimal synchronization potential with Goku's Ultra Instinct frequency. The displays reorganized to show detailed profiles of Caulifla, Karina, Vados, Nirvana herself, and a 5th individual not present. Who's that? Caulifla asked, pointing to the unknown profile. Dr. Zella herself, Vados observed with mild surprise. How interesting that your own energy signature shows compatibility. The blue-skinned scientist adjusted several instruments hanging from her utility belt, crystalline hair refracting light in nervous patterns. Yes, well, purely coincidental quantum alignment, I assure you. Scientifically fascinating but personally irrelevant. Despite her clinical dismissal, Goku's enhanced perception detected subtle shifts in her energy indicating something more complex than professional interest. With his expanded awareness, he was beginning to recognize patterns in how others responded to his Ultra Instinct state, reactions that went beyond mere respect or admiration for power, touching something more fundamental in their own energy signatures. If the 5 of us provide harmonic support, Karina calculated, our chance of accessing the temple increases to approximately 62%. Unacceptably low success probability, Nirvana objected, scholarly caution evident in her furrowed brow. Standard cosmic protocol requires minimum 80% certainty. For interdimensional operations of this magnitude, standard protocols assume standard circumstances, Vados countered smoothly. The current situation has no precedent in cosmic record. Goku listened to their debate with tranquil attention, silver eyes perceiving connections beyond conscious discussion. We're approaching this incorrectly, he finally interrupted. Probability calculations assume separation between participants. Ultra Instinct reveals there is none. The statement silenced the cosmic entities, each processing its implications according to their nature. Explain, Nirvana requested, golden eyes widening with scholarly interest. When I synchronized with Caulifla's energy to remove the corruption, I experienced not just her consciousness but the underlying pattern connecting all energy, Goku elaborated. From that perspective, harmonic alignment isn't about forcing separate frequencies to match, it's about recognizing the unified field already present beneath apparent separation. Zella's scientific instruments activated spontaneously, registering energy fluctuations as he spoke. Extraordinary, she whispered, he's describing unified field theory, but as experiential reality rather than theoretical construct. The mortal articulates what angels understand intuitively, Vados observed, studying Goku with increased respect. Though rarely with such precision. Then our approach becomes clear. Karina concluded. Rather than attempting separate harmonic contributions, we synchronize through Goku's Ultra Instinct as central conduit. She turned toward High M with ancient eyes that had witnessed civilizations rise and fall. It would require allowing your consciousness to temporarily extend through each of us, a profound vulnerability for all involved. Like what happened with Caulifla. Goku clarified. Similar in mechanism, exponentially more complex in execution, Karina confirmed. 5 simultaneous synchronizations rather than 1. Caulifla's expression darkened with something approaching possessiveness. Is that even possible? The connection we experienced was already intense. Theoretically viable, Zella mumbled, calculations streaming across her holographic displays. Though the psychological implications are substantial. Meaning, prompted Nirvana. Meaning, Vados interjected smoothly, that such connection would create bonds transcending conventional relationship parameters. Her composed expression revealed nothing of her internal consideration of angel protocols regarding mortal attachment. Understanding dawned in Goku's silver eyes, comprehension of implications that would have eluded his former self. The expanded consciousness provided by Ultra Instinct allowed him to perceive the complex emotional currents flowing beneath the clinical discussion, Caulifla's protective possessiveness of their shared experience, Vados's carefully masked interest, Zella's scientific fascination blending with personal curiosity. Nirvana's scholarly excitement battling with emotional caution, and Karina's ancient wisdom tempered by genuine concern. I understand, he acknowledged quietly. Each of you would need to decide if such connection is acceptable. An uncomfortable silence descended as each woman processed the implications according to her nature. Caulifla scuffed the ground with her boot, internal conflict evident in her fluctuating energy signature. Vados maintained perfect celestial composure, though her staff tapped a subtle rhythm against the ground, a minor tell revealing active deliberation. Zella buried herself in calculations that required no actual computation, avoiding direct eye contact. Nirvana adjusted her spectacles repeatedly, golden eyes darting between her tablet and the others present. ONL. Why Karina seemed genuinely at peace with the prospect, her ancient perspective transcending conventional relationship concerns. 12 days until cosmic restructuring, Nirvana finally broke the silence. Scholarly pragmatism winning over personal hesitation. Acceptable risk-given extinction alternative. The scientific knowledge gained would be unprecedented, Zella added, justifying personal interest with professional rationalization. Purely for research purposes, I consent. My people's legacy must be preserved, Karina stated simply. I have witnessed 50,000 years of solitude. Connection holds no fear for me. All eyes turned to Vados, whose decision carried the weight of celestial protocol. The angelic attendant considered for a moment longer, a mortal perspective allowing her to perceive ripples across cosmic timelines resulting from each potential choice. Angel protocols regarding mortal interaction were established when clear separation between mortal and divine consciousness existed. She finally reasoned. Ultra instinct has rendered such distinction obsolete. Adaptation is therefore logically justified. Her melodic voice betrayed no emotion despite the revolutionary nature of her conclusion. Caulifla, the only one yet to speak, crossed her arms defensively. I already experienced the connection once. Might as well go deeper. Despite her casual phrasing, her energy signature revealed genuine desire to explore the bond further, cloaked beneath characteristic bravado. With unanimous agreement reached, practical considerations took precedence. The synchronization should occur at a nexus point where dimensional fabric is already thin, Karina advised. It will facilitate the harmonic resonance required to locate the temple. The celestial archives contain records of all major dimensional convergence points, Nirvana offered. I can identify optimal coordinates. My equipment requires calibration to each participant's baseline energy signature, Zella added. Already adjusting various devices. Individual quantum profiles will enhance synchronization efficiency. As preparations continued, Goku stepped aside momentarily, silver eyes gazing across dimensional planes. The expanded awareness provided by Ultra Instinct allowed him to perceive subtle distortions spreading throughout reality, fractures in the cosmic fabric propagating at accelerating rates. Beyond these visible manifestations, he sensed Kronos' presence, ancient, patient, methodically implementing some grand design whose full scope remained unclear. What is your true purpose? Goku wondered, consciousness extending toward the primordial entity. Reclaiming Ultra Instinct seems insufficient motivation for such elaborate manipulation. To his surprise, response came, not as words but as impression flowing through the connected fabric of reality. Evolution requires catalyst, the impression conveyed. Cycles end. Cycles begin. The technique returns to reshape creation. The cryptic message carried implications beyond immediate understanding, suggesting Kronos' motivations transcended simple revenge or power reclamation. Before Goku could probe deeper, the connection dissolved as Kronos apparently detected the observation and withdrew his presence. Goku. Caulifla's voice pulled him back to immediate awareness. Everything okay? You went all distant and weird. See, Hironos is implementing a larger design than we've recognized, Goku explained, rejoining the group. This isn't merely about Ultra Instinct or dimensional stability. He's manipulating cosmic restructuring itself. To what end? Vados questioned, celestial mind calculating potential scenarios. Creation requires destruction, Karina suggested grimly. Perhaps he seeks to influence the merger process to reshape reality according to his original vision, a universe where his understanding of Ultra Instinct becomes fundamental law. Catastrophic implications, Nirvana whispered, scholarly detachment momentarily abandoned. A reality built on domination rather than harmony would perpetuate suffering across infinite timescales. Then our mission expands beyond dimensional repair, Goku concluded. Silver eyes reflecting newfound determination. We must prevent Chronos from interfering with cosmic restructuring. Coordinates identified, Nirvana announced, her tablet displaying a 3-dimensional Sional map of intersecting reality planes. The optimal synchronization point exists within a dimensional pocket between universes 7 and 6, a natural convergence of quantum pathways. I can transport us there, Vados offered, staff glowing with celestial energy. As the group prepared for dimensional transit, Caulifla approached Goku privately. This connection thing, she began awkwardly, is it going to be, intense? Goku suggested. Yeah. Her eyes met his with uncharacteristic vulnerability. The first time was already more than I expected. Goku's perception extended beyond her words to the complex emotions beneath. Uncertainty mingled with anticipation, pride battling vulnerability, competitive instinct conflicting with genuine connection. With his expanded awareness, He recognized her question extended beyond practical concerns to something more personal, fear that what had felt unique between them would somehow be diminished when shared with others. Each connection forms differently, he assured her. Understanding her unspoken concern, what we experienced remains uniquely ours, even as new connections form. Relief flickered across her features, quickly masked by her usual confident expression. Well, good, because I'm not sharing the good training techniques with these cosmic weirdos. The humor poorly concealed genuine sentiment, but Goku recognized the emotional shield for what it was, necessary protection for a warrior unaccustomed to vulnerability. Vados' staff tapped the ground, creating a dimensional transit circle around the group. Prepare yourselves, she instructed. Interdimensional transit feels different near fracture zones. The transportation experience proved far more turbulent than standard celestial transit. Reality seemed to stretch and compress simultaneously. Dimensional barriers rippling like fabric caught in cosmic winds. When they materialized, the environment defied conventional perception, a space where multiple realities overlapped, creating impossible geometry and color patterns outside normal visual spectrum. Welcome to Convergence Point Alpha, Nirvana announced, adjusting her spectacles as she oriented herself within the dimensional anomaly. One of 17 natural junctions where universal boundaries naturally thin. The ground beneath them shifted constantly, composed of crystalline fragments from multiple realities. The sky displayed overlapping astronomical features from different universes, suns, moons, and stellar configurations that should have been mutually exclusive existing simultaneously. Gravity fluctuated unpredictably, requiring constant adjustment to maintain position. Fascinating quantum state violations, Zella muttered, her scientific equipment recording data at maximum capacity. Reality maintains coherence despite fundamental contradictions in physical law. Karina stepped forward, silver eyes perfectly adapted to the multidimensional environment. This convergence point flows directly into the pathway leading to the Temple of Convergence. She traced ancient symbols in the air, leaving trails of silver energy that hung suspended in the fluctuating space. We begin the synchronization immediately. Dimensional instability is increasing exponentially. As if confirming her assessment, reality rippled violently around them. Distant fracture lines became visible even to conventional perception, jagged cracks in the fabric of space-time spreading like cosmic lightning. Positions, please, Karina instructed, creating a complex geometric pattern on the crystalline ground with silver energy. Goku at center node, cardinal alignments based on quantum resonance compatibility. Following her instructions, they formed a perfect pentagram with Goku at its center. Vados positioned herself at the northern point, her celestial nature providing foundational stability. Karina took the eastern position, ancient knowledge flowing through her silver markings. Nirvana established herself at the western point, cosmic records materializing around her in holographic form. Zella occupied the southern position, scientific instruments arrayed in precise configuration. Caulifla completed the formation at the southeastern point, Saiyan energy flaring crimson against the multi-hued dimensional backdrop. The synchronization occurs in 3 phases, Karina explained. First, individual harmonic alignment with Goku. Second, group resonance establishment. Third, dimensional perception extension. Her silver eyes met each participant's gaze. The experience will transcend ordinary consciousness. Surrender to the process rather than attempting to control it. Goku settled into perfect meditative posture, silver aura manifesting around him with tranquil intensity. I'll establish connection individually with each of you, then gradually merge the resonance patterns. Beginning harmonic calibration, Zella announced, activating devices that created quantum me. Asserment fields around each participant. Baseline synchronization parameters established. Interdimensional coordinates locked. Nirvana confirmed, her golden eyes reflecting data streams from her cosmic archives. Temporal alignment stable despite background distortion. Celestial oversight engaged. Vados added, her staff producing a protective barrier around the entire formation. Divine PR. Otocols temporarily suspended to allow unrestricted energy flow. Void Walker pathways opened, Karina concluded, ancient symbols illuminating across her violet skin. The way is prepared. At the center of this cosmic convergence, Goku closed his silver eyes. Ultra instinct flowed through him not as power but as perception, consciousness expanding beyond individual limitations to perceive the underlying unity connecting all present. With perfect precision, he extended his awareness toward Caulifla first, building upon their previously established connection. The resonance formed instantly, familiarity allowing immediate synchronization. Caulifla gasped as her consciousness once again merged with Goku's expanded awareness, experiencing reality through ultra-instinct perception. This time, however, she was prepared, allowing the connection to develop rather than resisting its unfamiliar intimacy. From this foundation, Goku extended harmonic tendrils toward Karina. The Void Walker's NT consciousness met his with practiced ease, her 50,000 years of meditative discipline allowing seamless integration. Her perspective added historical depth to the expanding awareness, Nold. GE of Ultra Instinct's origins and evolution across cosmic cycles. Next came Nirvana, whose consciousness organized reality through categorical understanding. The cosmic librarian's mind initially emptied to catalog the experience before recognizing the futility of conventional documentation. As she surrendered to direct experience, her vast knowledge of timeline variations provided expanded textual understanding to the group consciousness. Zella's scientific mind presented greater challenge, analytical processes constantly attempting to measure an experience that transcended quantification. Goku's awareness gently guided her beyond intellectual understanding toward direct perception, using her scientific curiosity as bridge rather than barrier. When synchronization occurred, her understanding of dimensional energy mechanics enhanced the group's ability to perceive subtle reality fluctuations. Finally, Goku extended awareness toward Vados. The angelic being's consciousness existed on fundamentally different dimensional planes, her perception naturally encompassing aspects of reality invisible to mortals. As their awareness merged, something unprecedented occurred, mortal and celestial consciousness achieving true harmonic equality rather than hierarchical interaction. The experience momentarily disrupted Vados's immortal composure, exposing her to emotional currents typically buffered by divine detachment. With all 5 connections established, Goku carefully began harmonizing the disparate consciousness patterns. Each participant experienced the other's perspective while maintaining individual identity, unified awareness without dissolution of self. Through this composite consciousness, perception expanded exponentially, allowing simultaneous observation of multiple dimensional planes. There, Karina's voice resonated through the shared awareness, directing attention toward a specific interdimensional coordinate. The temple entrance. Collectively, they perceived what individual consciousness could not, an architectural marvel existing between reality planes. The ancient temple of convergence manifested as impossible geometry rendered in materials absorbed and reflected light simultaneously. Its structure incorporated elements from civilizations extinct for billions of years, preserved in dimensional space beyond conventional time. Activation requires harmonic key, Karina guided, her ancient knowledge flowing through the shared consciousness. Understanding instantly, the unified awareness directed harmonized energy toward specific points in the temple's dimensional structure. Reality rippled as ancient mechanisms activated, recognizing the harmonic signature of Ultra Instinct after 50,000 years of dormancy. The temple NCE materialized fully, a massive doorway composed of crystalline material that shifted between solid and energy states. Ancient symbols identical to those on Karina's skin illuminated along its surface. responding to the harmonic resonance directed toward it. As the doorway began opening, reality shuddered violently. Dimensional fractures propagated with sudden acceleration, converging toward their location with alarming speed. Through their expanded awareness, all participants simultaneously perceived the cause. Kronos had detected their activity and was actively attacking the dimensional fabric separating them from the temple. "He's trying to prevent our access," Nirvana's consciousness observed, cataloging the attack pattern with scholarly precision despite the danger. "The synchronizat ion must be maintained while we move physically toward the temple," Karina advised. "Any disruption to the harmonic pattern will collapse the manifestation." "I'll establish protective barrier," Vados's consciousness offered, her angelic energy extending outward. Dimensional stabilization protocols engaged, zealous scientific awareness added, her equipment automatically adapting to counter the increasing reality fluctuations. "Let's move already." Khalifa's more direct approach cut through the complex planning, her Saiyan pragmatism providing necessary decisiveness. Maintaining perfect harmonic synchronization, the unified consciousness directed their physical bodies toward the manifesting temple entrance. Movement through the unstable dimensional environment proved extraordinarily challenging, reality itself warping unpredictably around them as Kronos' influence intensified. Halfway to the entrance, shadow entities erupted from dimensional fractures, dozens materializing simultaneously in coordinated attack pattern. Unlike the reconnaissance shadows encountered earlier, these manifestations possessed greater substance and apparent intelligence, their forms adapting to counter the group's defensive measures. "Kronos has evolved his shadow projections," Karina's consciousness warned. "These contain fragments of his actual essence rather than mere extensions." Through their unified perception, they coordinated perfect defense, each member contributing unique capabilities. Vados's celestial power created localized reality stabilization, allowing more predictable physical movement. Zealous scientific knowledge identified exploitable weaknesses in the shadow entity's dimensional composition. Nirvana's cosmic records provided tactical patterns effective against similar knife stations throughout timeline history. Karina's ancient techniques disrupted the shadows' connection to their source. Khalifa's combat instincts delivered devastating physical attacks precisely where the other contributions created vulnerabilities. At the center of this perfect coordination, Goku's Ultra Instinct maintained the harmonic synchronization while simultaneously extending his own combat capability. Silver energy flowed through precise movements, each action existing in perfect harmony with the other's contributions. The resulting defense transcended conventional combat, approaching something closer to multidimensional art than mere fighting. Despite their perfect execution, the shadow entities continued multiplying, emerging faster than they could be dispatched. Reality deteriorated further as Kronos poured more power into his assault, dimensional barriers thinning to dangerous levels. "The temple entrance is destabilizing," Karina's consciousness warned. "We must reach it before manifestation collapses." Through unified decision, they adopted new strategy, Goku and Khalifa providing direct combat interference while the others maintained harmonic synchronization focused on temple stabilization. This redistribution of focus created brief vulnerability in their defensive pattern, allowing several shadow entities to penetrate their formation. One shadow struck Zella directly, disrupting her scientific equipment and momentarily fracturing her connection to the group consciousness. The harmonic pattern wavered dangerously as her perception separated, threatening complete synchronization collapse. Sensing the critical juncture, Goku directed his consciousness with perfect precision, reinforcing the connection to Zella while maintaining the others. His silver awareness flowed through the disrupted pathway, re-establishing harmonic resonance before complete separation could occur. The reconnection came with unexpected intensity, Zella's scientific detachment momentarily overwhelmed by direct experiential immersion in Ultra Instinct consciousness. Her perception, temporarily isolated then reconnected, experienced the unified awareness with renewed depth. The moment created unique intimacy between her consciousness and Goku's, distinct from the other's connections while remaining part of the larger harmonic pattern. Stabilized once more, the unified consciousness approached the temple entrance as it began flickering between manifestation states. With final coordinated effort, they crossed the dimensional threshold just as reality collapsed behind them. Chronos' shadow entities dissipating as their connection to their master was severed by the temple's ancient protective barriers. Inside, the Temple of Convergence defied conventional architectural understanding. Spaces extended inward and outward simultaneously, chambers existed in multiple dimensional states concurrently, and gravity operated according to intention rather than physical law. Throughout this impossible structure, silver energy pathways pulsed like circulatory systems, connecting various chambers in complex three-dimensional mandalas. The heart chamber lies at the center, Karina's consciousness guided, ancient memories flowing through the unified awareness. From there, we can access the dimensional fabric directly. As they moved deeper into the temple, their unified consciousness began experiencing unexpected effects. The harmonic synchronization, initially established as temporary technical necessity, began developing emergent properties beyond its intended function. Individual consciousness patterns started influencing each other in subtle ways. Caulifla's emotional directness affecting Vados's celestial detachment, Nirvana's categorical precision softened by Karina's ancient wisdom. Zella's scientific methodology enriched by intuitive understanding. At the center of these exchanges, Goku's consciousness served as both conduit and catalyst, his ultra instinct perception allowing him to experience each connection uniquely while maintaining overall harmony. Through this unprecedented union, he began developing deeper understanding of each individual beyond surface presentation. Caulifla's aggressive confidence masked profound capacity for loyalty and protection. Her harsh exterior developed as necessary adaptation to her universe's more challenging environment. Behind competitive drive lay genuine desire for meaningful connection, carefully guarded against disappointment. Vados's celestial detachment had developed microscopic fractures over millions of years, subtle longing for experience beyond perfect execution of cosmic function. Her interest in ultra instinct stemmed not merely from professional assessment but from genuine curiosity about consciousness unrestricted by hierarchical parameters. Zella's scientific obsession served as sanctuary from emotional vulnerability, quantification providing comfortable alternative to direct experience. Yet beneath methodical exterior lay passionate appreciation for cosmic beauty, expressed through research rather than conventional emotional channels. Nirvana's dedication to cosmic documentation masked fear of the truly unprecedented, scholarly categorization creating illusion of control over infinite possibility. Her extensive knowledge paradoxically heightened anxiety about unknowable outcomes, while simultaneously nurturing profound appreciation for novel emergence. Karina's ancient patience carried underlying sorrow, 50,000 years of solitude as last keeper of her people's legacy. Our composed wisdom had been purchased through millennia of meditative discipline that transformed isolation into transcendent perspective. As these deeper understandings flowed through the unified consciousness, connections between participants evolved beyond functional necessity toward genuine appreciation, unique bonds forming within the larger harmonic pattern. Each relationship developed distinct qualities reflecting the individuals involved. Between Goku and Caulifla, mutual recognition of warrior spirit and growing appreciation for complementary approaches to strength, her fiery directness balancing his tranquil flow. Between Goku and Vados, bridged perspective between mortal innovation and celestial perfection, creating unprecedented dialogue between evolutionary and static consciousness. Between Goku and Zella, integration of intuitive perception with analytical understanding, his experiential wisdom complementing her theoretical knowledge. Between Goku and Nirvana, balance between embracing uncertainty and preserving knowledge, his comfort with the unknown easing her need for complete categorization. Between Goku and Karina, resonance between newfound mastery and ancient tradition. Her historical perspective contextualizing his innovative approach. These evolving connections remained unified within the larger harmonic pattern while developing unique characteristics, like distinct melodies within larger symphonic composition. Though none acknowledged explicitly, all participants recognized something profound developing beyond the technical requirements of their mission. We approach the heart chamber. Karina's consciousness announced as they entered a vast spherical space at the temple's center. Unlike the complex architecture of outer chambers, the heart maintained elegant simplicity, a perfect sphere whose interior surface displayed real-time representation of the multiverse fabric. Dimensional fractures appeared as jagged silver lines spreading across this cosmic tapestry. their propagation visibly accelerating even as they watched. The damage is worse than anticipated, Nirvana's consciousness assessed, scholarly precision calculating failure probabilities. Complete dimensional collapse within approximately 9 days rather than 12. The heart chamber allows direct manipulation of interdimensional fabric, Karina explained, ancient knowledge flowing through the unified awareness. With proper harmonic application, repairs become possible. The dimensional stabilization requires precise quantum frequency matching, zealous scientific consciousness added. Analyzing the fracture patterns, each repair must account for 11-dimensional space-time curvature variations. In simpler terms, Khalifah's more direct awareness translated, we need to focus our energy through Goku to fix the cracks. Essentially correct, Vados confirmed, celestial perspective adding, though considerably more complex in execution. At the chamber's center, floated a crystalline platform, identical material to the temple exterior but arranged in perfect mandala pattern. Ancient symbols around its circumference matched those on Karina's skin, pulsing with silver light in direct resonance with Goku's Ultra Instinct aura. The harmonic amplifier, Karina identified, designed specifically to enhance Ultra Instinct's dimensional influence. Understanding flowed through their unified consciousness. The platform would magnify Goku's stabilizing effect on reality while their harmonized energy provided necessary amplification. With perfect coordination born of their synchronized awareness, they positioned themselves around the platform in the same pentagram formation established earlier. Goku stepped onto the central position, silver aura intensifying, as it recognized the ancient technology designed specifically for its application. The crystalline structure illuminated from within, energy pathways activating throughout the temple as dormant cyst. Ms. recognized Ultra Instinct's signature after 50 millennia of inactivity. Initiating harmonic amplification, Karina's consciousness guided, ancient symbols on her skin illuminating in perfect synchronization with the platform's patterns. Energy flowed from each participant toward Goku at the center, Khalifah's crimson Saiyan power, Vados' celestial blue essence, Karina's ancient silver knowledge, Nirvana's golden cosmic information, and Zella's iridescent scientific understanding. These distinct energies merged with Goku's silver Ultra Instinct, creating a harmonic confluence that the platform amplified exponentially. Through their unified consciousness, they perceived the dimensional fabric directly, not as abstract concept but as tangible medium capable of manipulation. The fractures appeared as actual tears in the cosmic weave, their jagged edges leaking primordial energy from between realities. With perfect coordination, they directed the harmonized energy toward the most critical fractures first, those threatening immediate dimensional collapse. The silver-hued power flowed like cosmic sutures, reconnecting severed reality threads and reinforcing weakened junctions. Each pair required precise frequency matching, energy patterns adapting to the unique quantum signature of individual dimensional boundaries. As the process continued, they encountered unexpected resistance. Certain fractures actively rejected repair attempts, their edges displaying patterns consistent with deliberate manipulation rather than natural deterioration. Chronos has been systematically weakening specific junctions. Karina's consciousness realized, ancient knowledge recognizing the technique. These aren't accidental damage, they're calculated sabotage. The pattern suggests intentional creation of dimensional weak points. Vados analyzed, celestial perspective perceiving larger design, positioned specifically to influence cosmic restructuring pathways. He's trying to control how the universes merge, Goku concluded. Ultra Instinct awareness grasping the implications immediately. By weakening strategic connection points, he influences which realities dominate the final template. Specifically targeting harmonic dissolution rather than preservation, Nirvana added, cosmic records providing historical context for such manipulation. The resulting merger would emphasize POW hierarchy rather than balanced integration. We need to counter the intentional weakening with targeted reinforcement, zealous scientific awareness calculated, projecting probabilistic outcomes based on various intervention patterns. Through their unified perception, they adjusted their approach, identifying Chronos' sabotage points and applying counter-harmonics specifically designed to neutralize his influence. The process required extraordinary precision, with each correction needing unique frequency calibration to address the specific type of manipulation employed. Hours passed ensue. Subjective experience as they methodically repaired and reinforced the dimensional fabric. The temple's ancient technology amplified their efforts exponentially, allowing influence across vast cosmic distances. Gradually, the propagation of fractures slowed, then stabilized, and finally began reversing as their harmonized energy restored proper interdimensional balance. As the final major fractures sealed, a new perception dawned through their unified consciousness, awareness of Kronos himself observing their work from beyond conventional dimensional boundaries. His ancient presence carried complex emotional resonance, frustration at his plan's disruption mingled with reluctant appreciation for their harmonic technique. "He's watching us," Khalifa's consciousness noted, warrior instincts detecting the observation despite its subtle manifestation. "Not merely watching," Karina corrected, ancient knowledge recognizing deeper interaction. Studying, learning, adapting. Through ultra-instinct perception, Goku extended awareness toward the ancient entity, not confrontationally but with genuine inquiry. "Why this approach, Kronos? What outcome do you truly seek?" The response came not as RDS but as conceptual impression flowing through the dimensional fabric they had just repaired. Balance requires imbalance. Creation requires destruction. The cycle continues through necessary disruption. There are harmonious paths to evolution, Goku's consciousness replied. Destruction isn't the only catalyst for change. A sensation resembling ancient amusement flowed back, says the warrior whose greatest transformations came through battle and loss. "You understand better than you admit, mortal vessel." The observation carried uncomfortable truth that resonated through Goku's expanded awareness. Throughout his journey, advancement had indeed come primarily through conflict rather than harmony. Ultra instinct itself had emerged from desperate combat rather than peaceful cultivation. "Perhaps we're both partially correct," Goku acknowledged. "Change requires both disruption and harmony in proper measure." The ancient presence seemed to consider this perspective, its observation taking on different quality, less antagonistic, more contemplative. After what seemed an eternity compressed into moments, Kronos withdrew his presence entirely, leaving only lingering impression. The final convergence approaches. "Your understanding remains incomplete, but progress is noteworthy." As Kronos' presence faded completely, the unified consciousness turned attention to final dimensional stabilization. With the major fractures repaired, they focused on reinforcing the overall fabric, creating resilience against future deterioration while establishing proper pathways for the upcoming cosmic restructuring. Dimensional integrity restored to 89.7% of optimal parameters, Nirvana's consciousness assessed, cosmic calculations measuring reality stability with scholarly precision. Suffice, and for sustainable function through restructuring process. The temple's purpose is fulfilled, Karina added, ancient satisfaction flowing through her silver awareness. "My ancestors' legacy has served creation once more." Quantum harmonic baseline established across all dimensional boundaries, Zella confirmed, scientific instruments registering unprecedented stability readings. Fascinating S-Ide effect. Information transfer between universes has increased efficiency by 42%. "Can we drop this group mind thing now?" Khalifa's consciousness inquired with characteristic directness. Our energy signature revealed complicated reaction to the prospect of separation, genuine desire for individuality competing with reluctance to lose the profound connection. Harmonic synchronization can be gradually released. Vedos advised, celestial understanding recognizing potential dangers in abrupt disconnection. Sudden separation might create psychic feedback damage. Goku, at the center of the harmonized consciousness, began carefully unwinding the connections, not severing them completely but reducing their intensity to allow individual identity reassertion. The process required extraordinary precision, as each connection had developed unique characteristics requiring specific dissolution approach. As the unified consciousness gradually separated into distinct individuals, each participant experienced the transition differently. Khalifa felt simultaneous relief at returning to comfortable self-definition and unexpected emptiness as the expanded awareness contracted. The experience had altered her perception of strength, revealing connection rather than isolation as potential source of power. Vedos experienced unfamiliar emotional reverberations as celestial detachment reasserted itself. The temporary immersion in unified consciousness had created new perspective on angelic existence, subtle appreciation for mortal subjectivity that would influence her eternal observation. Zella's scientific mind immediately began categorizing and analyzing the experience, creating extensive mental documentation for future research. Yet beneath methodical assessment lay genuine, emotional response, appreciation for direct experience beyond theoretical understanding. Nirvana found her cosmic librarian identity simultaneously reinforced and transformed, scholarly dedication to documentation enhanced by first-hand participation in unprecedented events. The experience would revolutionize her approach to timeline analysis, integrating subjective perspective with objective recording. Karina experienced bittersweet familiarity with transition, her 50,000 years of solitude making the return to individual consciousness recognized territory. Yet the connection had renewed omething long dormant within her ancient spirit, hope for legacy continuation rather than mere preservation. For Goku, the separation process carried unique challenge. Having served as primary conduit, his consciousness retained impressions from each connection, subtle perspectives and awareness that weren't present before the synchronization. Ultra instinct had facilitated harmonic union while simultaneously being transformed by it. His mastery deepening through shared experience. As the final threads of unified consciousness dissolved, they found themselves standing in their original positions around the crystalline platform, which had dimmed to dormant state. The heart chamber continued displaying the dimensional fabric, now stable with only minor fractures remaining, manageable natural variations rather than catastrophic deterioration. Well, Khalifla broke the silence, awkwardly adjusting her bracers. That was intense. An unprecedented harmonization success, Zella agreed, Bus Ying herself with instrument readings to avoid direct eye contact. The quantum signature stabilization exceeded theoretical parameters by approximately 23%. The dimensional fabric has been successfully reinforced, Vados observed, her melodic voice carrying perfect composure despite the profound experience they had shared. Cosmic restructuring can proceed as the Omni Kings intended. The timeline has been preserved, Nirvana added, adjusting her spectacles as she made rapid notations on her tablet. Though with fascinating variations that will require extensive documentation. The temple will return to dormant state now that its purpose is fulfilled, Karina explained, ancient eyes reflecting peaceful completion. Its energies will disperse until needed in another cosmic cycle. As if confirming her words, the chamber around them began gradually losing definition, not collapsing but gently releasing its manifestation as its purpose concluded. The dimensional representation faded, crystal surfaces dimmed, and energy pathways quieted to dormant state. We should depart before complete dematerialization, Karina advised. The temple returns to interdimensional space beyond conventional access. Vados nodded, raising her staff to create transportation circle around the group. All return as to standard dimensional coordinates. As celestial energy encompassed them, Goku's silver eyes met each person's gaze briefly, wordless acknowledgement of the profound connection they had shared. Though the harmonic synchronization had ended, something of the unified consciousness remained, subtle resonance patterns that continued echoing between them. Reality shifted as Vados transported them from the dematerializing temple back to conventional space-time, specifically, to Beerus's planet where their journey had begun. As they materialized on solid ground, the abrupt transition from interdimensional existence to normal reality created momentary disorientation. You succeeded, the Supreme Kai exclaimed, rushing forward to greet them. The dimensional fluctuations have stabilized across all 12 universes. Beerus lounged nearby, affecting casual disinterest despite obvious relief. Took you long enough. I was beginning to think we'd need to find another Saiyan to master divine techniques. The situation is more complex than simple stabilization, Vados informed her fellow celestial beings. Kronos was deliberately manipulating dimensional boundaries to influence cosmic restructuring. Whis inquired, raising an elegant eyebrow. His direct sabotage has been neutralized, Goku explained, silver eyes reflecting newfound understanding. But his larger purpose remains unclear. He's preparing for something beyond our current comprehension. How ominously vague, Beerus commented dryly. Any specific threats we should actually worry about? Before anyone could respond, multiple communication orbs activated simultaneously, divine messaging devices used only for urgent cosmic matters. Whis Vados, and the Supreme Kai each received identical transmission, their expressions growing increasingly concerned as they absorbed the information. What is it? Goku asked, Ultra Instinct perception already detecting the message's serious implications. The Grand Minister has summoned all gods and attendants, Whis explained gravely. The Omni Kings have accelerated the cosmic restructuring timeline. The process begins in 3 days rather than 9. That's impossible, Nirvana objected, scholarly authority evident in her tone. Preparatory Dimensiona. Adjustments require minimum 7-day implementation cycle. Acceleration risks catastrophic entropy cascade. Nevertheless, the decision is final, Vados confirmed, her celestial composure masking concern. All universes have been notified simultaneously. This is Kronos' influence, Karina stated with ancient certainty. The temple repairs forced him to adapt his approach. If he cannot control restructuring through dimensional manipulation, he seeks to rush the process before complete stabilization. Then our task remains unfinished, Goku concluded, silver eyes reflecting determined purpose. We've repaired the damage, but now must ensure the restructuring itself proceeds harmoniously rather than destructively. As the implications settled over the group, subtle energy connections formed between those who had shared unified consciousness, wordless acknowledgement that their journey had merely entered new phase rather than reached conclusion. The harmonic bonds established in the temple continued resonating beneath individual identity, creating foundation for whatever challenges lay ahead. Beyond conventional perception, ancient eyes watched from between dimensional planes. Hironos observed the gathering with patient calculation, obsidian mask revealing nothing of his true intentions. The Temple of Convergence had served its purpose, not in thwarting his design but in advancing it. The mortal vessel evolves beyond expectation, he observed to the shadow entities gathered around him. The technique flourishes in ways I never anticipated. Is this not counter to your purpose, Master? Questioned a shadow, its voice like grinding crystal. Evolution requires resistance, Kronos replied, multitonal voice carrying ancient wisdom. The final convergence approaches. L proceeds according to the greater cycle. As the ancient entity turned away, dimensional fabric rippled around him, subtle manipulation continuing despite apparent setback. The cosmic game advanced toward conclusion only he could fully perceive, with Ultra Instinct itself as both playing piece and ultimate prize. Chapter 3. Harmony of Power and Heart. The cosmic restructuring announcement sent shockwaves through all 12 universes. 3 days, merely 72 hours, before reality itself would be fundamentally rewritten. Preparations that should have required weeks were compressed into desp. Or 8 hours as beings across all realities confronted the impending transformation. On Earth, dawn broke over the mountains with deceptive serenity. Goku stood watching the sunrise, its ordinary beauty. Y rendered extraordinary through Ultra Instinct perception. Each ray of light revealed itself as complex energy stream, atmosphere particles dancing in patterns invisible to conventional sight. The integration of this divine technique had permanently altered his relationship with reality, not merely enhancing combat prowess but fundamentally transforming consciousness itself. You're leaving again, Chi-Chi stated from behind him. Not a question but recognition of inevitable truth. Goku turned, silver eyes perceiving the complex emotional tapestry beneath her composed exterior, resignation intertwined with understanding. Love tempered by years of acceptance that her husband belonged partially to the universe itself. The restructuring begins in 3 days, he confirmed gently. Kronos still intends to manipulate the process. If he succeeds, the merged reality will prioritize power over harmony. Chi-Chi nodded, surprising him with lack of protest. You've changed, she observed, studying him with the intimate knowledge of decades shared. Not just the silver eyes or the way you move. Something deeper. I perceive everything differently now, Goku acknowledged. Connections, patterns, relationships, all visible in ways I never imagined. Including us, she asked quietly. The question carried deeper implications than its simple wording suggested. Ultra Instinct awareness allowed him to perceive her true inquiry, recognition that their relationship existed within larger cosmic pattern, that his expanded consciousness might have revealed limitations in their connection previously accepted without question. Especially as, he replied with gentle honesty. What we've built together has beauty and value I never fully appreciated. But I also see how my nature has asked you to accept half-presence where you deserved wholeness. Tears formed in Chi-Chi's eyes, not from hurt but from the relief of finally being truly seen and understood. Will you come back after? She asked, already knowing the answer would be more complex than simple yes or no. Not as before, Goku admitted. The coming restructuring changes everything. My connection to Ultra Instinct makes me part of the process itself. Rather than anger or accusation, Chi-Chi's response carried surprising wisdom. I've always shared you with the universe, she said, a sad smile touching her lips. At least now I understand why that was necessary. Their conversation was interrupted by familiar energy signatures approaching, Whis arriving with several others. The time for private farewell had ended. Cosmic necessity once again claimed priority. Goku embraced Chi-Chi with gentle reverence, Ultra Instinct allowing him to communicate through touch what words could not fully express, gratitude for decades of support. Acknowledgement of sacrifices made, and genuine love transcending conventional relationship parameters. Go, she whispered, stepping back with dignity born of her own strength rather than resignation. Save reality. It's what you've always done. As Goku joined Whis outside, he found an unexpected gathering awaiting him. Beyond the angel stood Caulifla, Karina, Vados, Nirvana, and Zella, the 5 women with whom he'd shared harmonic synchronization. Though their unified consciousness had been disbanded, subtle energy connections remained, resonance patterns linking them beyond conventional relationship boundaries. The dimensional distortions are accelerating again, Whis explained without preamble. The Grand Minister has called an emergency council of all beings with knowledge of Ultra Instinct. Your presence is specifically requested. Kronos is making his final move, Karina added, ancient eyes reflecting grim certainty. The premature restructuring announcement bears his influence. He's manipulating the Omni Kings through subtle dimensional pressure. We've been analyzing the restructuring parameters, Zella interjected, crystalline hair refracting morning light into prismatic patterns. The quantum harmonics suggest intentional bias toward power-dominant reality formation, exactly what we feared. If the cosmic merger proceeds under these conditions, Nirvana elaborated. Adjusting her spectacles with scholarly precision, approximately 78.3% of harmonic consciousness potentials will be permanently eliminated from multiversal possibility. Which means, Caulifla translated with characteristic bluntness, most of what makes life worth living gets erased because some ancient masked freak wants a universe built on domination. Essentially correct, Vados confirmed, her melodic voice carrying unusual gravity. The Omni Kings don't comprehend these subtle manipulations. To them, restructuring is merely cosmic housekeeping. Goku absorbed this information, silver eyes reflecting deepening understanding. Ultra Instinct perception allowed him to extrapolate implications beyond immediate explanation, recognizing that reality restructuring under Kronos' influence would create multiverse where connection, compassion, and harmony became evolutionary disadvantages rather than strengths. Then our mission is clear, he stated with tranquil certainty. We must confront Kronos directly and restore proper balance before restructuring begins. Confront an entity that predates the gods themselves. Nirvana questioned, scholarly caution evident in her furrowed brow. Historical records indicate zero successful precedents for such confrontation. Records also indicated zero probability of mortal Ultra Instinct mastery, Caulifla countered, crimson energy flaring around her fists. Yet here we stand. The nexus of convergence, Karina suggested after thoughtful consideration. The dimensional center point where all realities intersect, that's where Kronos must position himself to influence universal merger. Access to such coordinates requires Grand Minister authorization, Vados noted, staff tapping rhythmic pattern against the ground as she calculated possibilities. Even angels cannot transit directly to convergence nexus without explicit permission. Unless, Zella interjected, scientific instruments analyzing dimensional fluctuations. We exploit the destabilization Kronos himself created. The fracture patterns, while reduced, still offer potential transit pathways for beings with sufficient quantum resonance compatibility. Our synchronized energy signatures, Goku realized, understanding immediately. The harmonic pattern we established in the temple. Karina nodded, silver eyes reflecting ancient knowledge. Precisely. Though disbanded, our unified consciousness created quantum entanglement between our individual energies. With proper application, this connection could navigate interdimensional barriers without conventional transit requirements. Essentially creating our own doorway, Nirvana summarized, golden eyes widening with scholarly excitement despite the danger. Completely unprecedented methodology, but theoretically viable. Whis observed this exchange with growing concern, celestial responsibility warring with practical necessity. Such unauthorized dimensional transit violates numerous cosmic protocols, he reminded them. Though his tone lacked conviction. The multiverse faces existential threat, Vados countered, addressing her fellow angel directly. Protocol exists to serve cosmic balance, not restrict necessary action when balance itself is threatened. This philosophical assessment from his normally protocol-adherent sister clearly surprised Whis. His elegant eyebrows rose actionally, the angelic equivalent of profound shock. Your perspective has evolved, sister, he observed carefully. Perhaps I've recognized limitations in unchanging viewpoint, Vados replied with subtle challenge. A lesson our mortal colleagues seem particularly equipped to teach. This philosophical exchange between immortal siblings was interrupted by Khalifa's characteristic impatience. Less talking, more action, she insisted, crimson energy flaring around her. How exactly do we use these leftover connections to reach Chronos? The harmonic resonance requires reactivation, Karina explained. Ancient symbols illuminating across her violet skin. Not complete synchronization as before, but sufficient alignment to create interdimensional transit capability. My equipment can facilitate the process, Zella offered, producing specialized devices from her utility pouches. Quantum entanglement amplifiers designed specifically for resonance pattern enhancement. I can provide precise dimensional coordinates. Nirvana added, tablet materializing in her hands as she accessed cosmic archives. The nexus exists at exactly 1 attosecond before restructuring initialization, Simu. LT Aeneasly future and present from conventional timeline perspective. As preparations began, Goku closed his eyes briefly, ultra-instinct perception extending beyond immediate surroundings to broader cosmic awareness. The silver energy flowing through him revealed multiversal patterns invisible to ordinary consciousness, intricate tapestry of connections between all living beings, reality sustain. Through infinite interactions rather than static structure. Within this complex pattern, he perceived Chronos' presence, ancient and patient, methodically positioning himself at precise interdimensional coordinates where reality streams converged. The primordial entity wasn't merely waiting for cosmic restructuring, he was subtly altering fundamental frequencies governing how universes would merge. You perceive me now, mortal vessel. Came Chronos' impression through dimensional fabric. Your awareness grows impressively. Your intention becomes clear. Goku responded through the same cosmic medium. You seek to reshape all existence according to your understanding of ultra instinct, domination rather than harmony. Something resembling ancient amusement flowed back. I seek restoration of proper cosmic order. Power governs all existence. Your harmonious interpretation is temporary aberration, pleasant illusion that denies fundamental reality. Then why not simply destroy me? Goku questioned. Why this elaborate manipulation? Because you possess what I created yet cannot fully reclaim, came the honest response. The technique has evolved beyond my original design. I must understand how before re-establishing proper form. The exchange ended as Chronos withdrew his presence, but the conversation revealed crucial insight. The ancient entity's motivation extended beyond mere dominance to genuine belief that his vision represented cosmic truth. This wasn't simple villainy but philosophical conviction refined through eons of existence. Goku. Khalifa's voice pulled him back to immediate awareness. Everything okay? You went all silver and glowy for a minute there. I connected with Chronos briefly, he explained, rejoining the group as they finalized preparations. He genuinely believes his approach represents proper cosmic order, power hierarchy as fundamental reality principle. A perspective consistent with his pre-civilization origin, Karina noted grimly. Chronos emerged during creation's earliest phase, when physical laws themselves battled for dominance. His consciousness formed before cooperation and harmony emerged as evolutionary advantages. Fascinating implicati. Ons for consciousness development theory, Zella mumbled, adjusting final calibrations on her equipment. Perhaps initial reality framework permanently shapes perception parameters regardless of subsequent experience. The transit synchronization is prepared, Vados announced, interrupting the theoretical discussion. Her staff created elaborate geometric pattern on the ground, shimmering with celestial energy. We must establish harmonic resonance immediately. Dimensional coordinates show Chronos accelerating his preparations. The process requires geometric formation identical to our previous synchronization, Karina instructed. Taking position at eastern point of the forming pentagram. Not complete consciousness merger, but sufficient energy alignment to create unified transit capability. Following her guidance, the others took their positions, Vados north, Nirvana west, Zella south, and Caulifla southeast, with Goku at center. Unlike their previous full synchronization, this action aimed for partial resonance, sufficient for dimensional transit without complete consciousness merger. Initiating quantum entanglement enhancement, Zella announced, activating her specialized equipment. Iridescent energy flowed from her devices, highlighting the subtle connection patterns still existing between participants. Accessing temple harmonic signature, Karina added, ancient symbols on her skin illuminating with silver light. The resonance pattern remains in dimensional memory. Celestial transit protocols temporarily modified, Vados contributed, her staff creating protective barrier around the entire formation. Interdimensional pathway stabilization engaged, coordinates locked on convergence nexus, Nirvana confirmed, golden eyes reflecting data streams from her cosmic archives. Temporal alignment synchronized to restructuring pre-initialization phase. Let's get this show on the road already, Caulifla added with characteristic impatience, though her energy flowed perfectly into the forming harmonic pattern. At the center, Goku closed his eyes, silver awareness extending outward. Unlike their previous synchronization, where he had served as conduit for complete consciousness merger, this connection required more selective resonance, energy alignment without full identity integration. With perfect precision born of ultra instinct, he established calibrated connections with each participant. Silver energy tendrils extended from his aura, connecting with each woman's unique signature, Caulifla's crimson Saiyan power, Vados' celestial blue essence, Karina's ancient silver knowledge, Nirvana's golden cosmic information, and Zella's iridescent scientific understanding. As the connections stabilized, an unexpected development occurred. Rather than merely facilitating dimensional transit, the partial synchronization created unique perceptual enhancement, each participant suddenly able to perceive reality through aspects of the other's consciousness without losing individual identity. Fascinating sensory expansion, Zella gasped, experiencing intuitive understanding beyond her usual analytical perception. Quantum relationships visible without mathematical modeling. The cosmic archives, Nirvana whispered, golden eyes widening as she perceived information flow directly rather than through categorical documentation. I can feel history rather than merely record it. So much power, Caulifla marveled, experiencing celestial perception through her connection to Vados. The universe looks completely different at this level. Dimensional transit harmonics stabilized, Karina announced, ancient knowledge flowing through her voice. Interdimensional pathways converging on nexus coordinates. Transit commencing, Vados confirmed, staff. Creating spiraling energy vortex around the entire group. Maintain harmonic resonance through dimensional barriers. Reality shifted around them, not the smooth transition of angelic transportation b. Oop turbulent passage through unstable dimensional boundaries. Conventional space-time dissolved into quantum probability streams, their harmonized energy creating navigable pathway through interdimensional chaos. The journey lasted both instant and eternity, subjective experience disconnected from objective time measurement. When reality reconstituted around them, they stood in environment defying conventional description. The convergence nexus existed as impossible geometry rendered in energy rather than matter. Every direction contained complete universes condensed to observable scale, 12. E-reality streams flowing towards central singularity where merger would occur. Gravity operated according to intention rather than physical law, while time itself pulsed with variable rhythm, accelerating and slowing based on proximity to the convergence point. The nexus, Karina whispered reverently, ancient eyes witnessing what her ancestors had only theorized. The primordial junction of all realities. Quantum possibility made manifest, Zella added, scientific instruments recording data her civilization would consider mythological rather than factual. Complete dimensional overlay with phase-shifted temporal properties. Cosmic restructuring preparations at 94.3% completion, Nirvana observed, scholarly assessment calculating remaining timeframe. Approximately 43 minutes until irreversible initialization. Quote, "Where's Kronos?" Caulifla demanded, crimson energy flaring as she assumed combat stance. "I don't see the creepy masked guy anywhere." "There," Goku indicated, silver eyes perceiving what others could not yet see. At the convergence point itself. As their perception adjusted to the environment's unique properties, Kronos' presence became visible to all. A towering figure positioned precisely where reality streams converged. His obsidian armor absorbed light rather than reflected it, while his featureless mask displayed complex geometric patterns shifting in hypnotic rhythm. Around him floated hundreds of shadow entities, far more substantial than those encountered previously. These manifestations possessed distinct individual characteristics while maintaining unified purpose. Arranged in concentric circles around their master-like dark constellation. Most concerning was the elaborate mechanical structure Kronos had constructed at the convergence point. A device composed of materials that should not have existed simultaneously, generating energy patterns that distorted approaching reality streams. The machine pulsed with ominous rhythm, ch cycle subtly altering how universal energies interacted as they approached merger point. Harmonic disruption device, Karina identified with grim recognition. Designed to fundamentally alter rest, rupturing parameters, prioritizing domination frequencies while suppressing cooperation patterns. It's already affecting approaching reality streams, Vados observed, celestial perception detecting subtle distortions in universal energy signatures. If merger occurs under these conditions, the resulting multiverse will manifest according to Kronos' philosophical framework rather than natural balance. Then we destroy the machine. Caulifla concluded with characteristic directness, crimson energy gathering around her fists. Not so simple, Zella cautioned, scientific instruments analyzing the device's composition. Its integration with convergence energies creates quantum entanglement. Conventional destruction attempts would likely accelerate harmful effects rather than neutralize them. We need counter-harmonic influence. Goku stated, ultra instinct perception identifying solution beyond technical explanation. Not opposition but realignment, shifting the frequencies back toward natural balance. Precisely. Karina agreed, ancient knowledge recognizing the approach. Ultra instinct in its purest form represents perfect harmony between action and intention. Applied directly to the convergence point, it could re-establish proper resonance patterns, which Kronos and his hundreds of shadow entities will certainly allow without resistance, Nirvana noted with uncharacteristic sarcasm. Scholarly assessment recognizing tactical challenges. Then we create opportunity through coordinated approach, Vados suggested, celestial mind calculating optimal strategy. Divided implementation with unified purpose. Before detailed planning could continue, Kronos turned toward them, mask displaying recognition patterns despite having no conventional features. His multitonal voice resonated through the dimensional environment without conventional sound propagation. The mortal vessel returns, accompanied by harmonic aberrations, he observed, ancient amusement coloring his disjointed syntax. Fascinating persistence despite inevitable conclusion. Your understanding remains incomplete, Kronos, Goku replied, silver aura manifesting around him with tranquil intensity. Reality thrives through connection, not domination. Your restructuring parameters would create fundamental imbalance that even you would eventually find unsustainable. Temporary discomfort precedes proper restoration, Kronos dismissed. Geometric patterns on his mask pulsing with increased intensity. Your harmonious interpretation is evolutionary misstep, pleasant illusion that denies fundamental truth. And what truth is that? Goku challenged, silver eyes reflecting infinite compassion despite the confrontation. Power governs all existence, Kronos stated with absolute conviction born from eons of observation. Cooperation exists only where domination proves inefficient. Harmony is temporary strategy, not fundamental principle. Through their partial synchronization, each member of Goku's group perceived this exchange differently, understanding Kronos' perspective through their unique consciousness while simultaneously recognizing its limitations. Caulifla sensed profound loneliness beneath the ancient entity's philosophical certainty, eternal isolation that transformed survival necessity into cosmic principle. Vedo's perceived conceptual framework built during creation's earliest phase, when reality itself operated by different parameters than the developed multiverse. Zella recognized pattern recognition error, Kronos' consciousness perpetually filtering new information through outdated initial framework. Nirvana detected timeline distortion in his cognitive processing, perception eternally anchored in past while physically existing in present. Karina understood most completely Kronos' cosmic counterbalance, whose perspective contained partial truth requiring integration rather than rejection. This multifaceted understanding flowed through their harmonic connection to Goku, who synthesized the insights with ultra-instinct perception. The resulting comprehension transcended intellectual analysis, becoming direct recognition of appropriate response. "You're partially correct," Goku acknowledged, surprising everyone present including Kronos himself. Power does underlie existence, but not as you've defined it. True power emerges through connection rather than isolation, through harmony rather than domination. Semantic distinction without meaningful difference, Kronos dismissed, though subtle fluctuation in his masked pattern revealed unexpected uncertainty. Not semantics but fundamentally different reality perception, Goku countered, silver aura pulsing with gentle intensity. "I don't seek to destroy your understanding but to expand it, as mine has been expanded through connection with others." Something in this approach disrupted Kronos' anticipated response pattern. The ancient entity's mask displayed complex recalibration sequence, Philos. Ophical framework encountering perspective that neither rejected nor submitted to its principles but offered integration instead. This momentary philosophical reconsideration provided tactical opportunity. Through their harmonic connection, Goku's group implemented coordinated strategy without requiring explicit communication, shared consciousness allowing perfect synchronization despite maintaining individual identity. Vedos moved first, celestial staff creating localized dimensional stabilization that neutralized Kronos' control over immediate environment. This provided opportunity for Zell to deploy specialized devices that analyzed the harmonic disruption machine's operational frequencies. Nirvana accessed cosmic archives directly through her enhanced perception, identifying critical vulnerabilities in the device's temporal integration. Karina utilized ancient Void Walker techniques to disrupt the shadow entity's connection to their master, reducing their coherence. Caulifla provided direct combat interference, her Saiyan battle prowess enhanced by partial connection to the other's specialized knowledge. At the center of this perfect coordination, Goku moved with transcendent chi purpose, not attacking Kronos directly but approaching the convergence point where reality streams merged. His ultra-instinct awareness perceived the disruption patterns created by Kronos' device, identifying precisely how harmonic balance had been altered to favor domination over cooperation. The ancient entity recognized their strategy immediately. "Prevent them," he commanded his shadow legions. "The mortal vessel must not reach convergence center." The shadow entities responded with coordinated attack, hundreds of dark forms converging toward Goku with single purpose. Yet the partial synchronization allowed unprecedented defensive efficiency, each team member contributing unique capabilities that created perfect protection around Goku's advancing form. Vedos established celestial rear patterns that disrupted the shadow's dimensional movement capabilities. Zella deployed countermeasure devices that destabilized their quantum coherence. Nirvana identified and exploited temporal vulnerabilities in their manifestation patterns. Karina utilized ancient banishment techniques specifically designed for entities composed of interdimensional energy. Caulifla provided physical comba, chi excellence enhanced by strategic application of the other's specialized knowledge. This perfect defense allowed Goku to advance steadily toward the convergence point, silver aura intensifying as he approached the nexus where all realities intersected. Kronos, recognizing conventional opposition had failed, abandoned his position at the machine to intercept Goku personally. "Your understanding remains fundamentally flawed. Mortal vessel," the ancient entity stated, obsidian armor radiating primordial energy that distorted surrounding dimensional fabric. "I existed before harmony emerged. My perspective encompasses creation's original framework, which limits rather than enhances your understanding," Goku replied without condescension, simple observation offered with compassionate certainty. Initial patterns provide foundation but require evolution, not perpetual preservation. Meaningless philosophy against eternal truth. Chronos dismissed geometric patterns on his mask, reconfiguring into aggressive formation. Witness creation's original power. What followed transcended conventional combat. Chronos unleashed primordial energy predating standardized physical laws, raw creative E-force from universe's earliest formation phase. This power didn't manifest as conventional attacks but as reality manipulation itself, dimensional fabric responding directly to his will rather than requiring technique intermediation. Against any opponent lacking ultra instinct, such power would have proven instantly overwhelming. Yet Goku's silver awareness perceived the energy's fundamental patterns beneath apparent chaos. His body responded with perfect harmony, movements existing between conventional action sequences rather than merely executing techniques with exceptional speed. There Hange created ripples throughout the Nexus environment, dimensional fabric fluctuating with each interaction. Where Chronos employed primordial force to impose reality interpretation, Goku utilized RFECT harmony to adapt without surrendering essential nature. Neither completely dominated the exchange, ancient power meeting transcendent awareness in philosophical combat rendered through physical expression. Through their harmonic connection, the others perceived this confrontation beyond visual observation, experiencing the conceptual exchange underlying physical manifestation. What appeared as combat between powerful entities revealed itself as fundamental dialogue between competing reality interpretations, each perspective containing partial truth requiring integration rather than victory. As this profound exchange continued, Zella completed her analysis of the harmonic disruption device. The machine operates on 11-dimensional frequency manipulation. She called out, Scientifica assessment identifying critical vulnerability. Primary control node requires simultaneous countermeasure application from 5 harmonic signatures. Our synchronized energy, Karina realized immediately. The resonance pattern we established can neutralize the disruption if applied with proper distribution. The convergence occurs in approximately 12 minutes, Nirvana added urgently, cosmic calculations measuring remaining timeframe. Restructuring initialization becomes irreversible after that threshold. Understanding flowed through their harmonic connection. While Goku maintained philosophical engagement with Chronos, the others would need to neutralize the disruption device through synchronized countermeasure application. Goku needs to keep that masked freak busy while we disable his machine. Caulifla summarized with characteristic directness. Let's move. With perfect coordination born of their partial synchronization, they implemented strategic reposition, Vados creating dimensional shortcuts that allowed immediate access to the device despite intervening shadow entities. Upon reaching the machine, Zella directed precise positioning around its central control node, WH. Air reality streams entered final conversion phase before merger. Each must apply counter-harmonic energy precisely calibrated to their natural frequency, the scientific researcher instructed, Krista. L-line hair refracting energy patterns in agitated rhythm. Not opposition but complementary resonance, like Goku demonstrated against Chronos. Understanding instantly through their harmonic connection. Each woman positioned at specific point around the control node. Vados contributed celestial harmony, eternal patterns underlying cosmic order. Karina offered ancient continuity, wisdom sustained through 50 millennia of dedicated preservation. Nirvana provided informational integrity, knowledge organization transcending individual perspective. Zella added scientific balance, analytical understanding tempered by empirical humility. Caulifla completed the pattern with evolutionary drive, determination that pushed boundaries while maintaining core principles. Synchronization in 3, Zella counted down. Scientific precision guiding their timing. 2, 1, engage. 5 distinct energy signatures flowed simultaneously into the control node, not attacking its function but providing complementary frequencies that restored natural balance to the conversion process. Where Chronos had programmed dominance prioritization, their harmonized contribution re-established cooperative potential as equal evolutionary path. The device responded with violent energy fluctuations, safeguards attempting to reject the harmonic intrusion. Yet their synchronized application created resonance pattern 2, fundamental for artificial constraints to overcome. Gradually, the disruption parameters recalibrated toward natural balance, reality streams flowing more harmoniously as they approached convergence point. Chronos perceived this change immediately, ancient awareness detecting the restoration of harmonic balance to his carefully manipulated system. His response came with devastating intensity, dim. Anciental control temporarily abandoned to direct overwhelming force toward the women, dismantling his life's work. "Your interference ends," he declared, primordial energy gathering around his armored form in devastating concentration. Witness creation's original judgment. The attack launched with reality-distorting power, energy predating standardized physical laws directed with singular destructive purpose. Against such force, no conventional defense could possibly succeed, the power capable of erasing existence itself from targeted beings. What Chronos failed to anticipate was Goku's response, not opposition but integration. Moving with perfect ultra instinct, he positioned himself within the attack's path, silver aura expanding to encompass his companions. Rather than attempting to block or deflect the primordial energy, he synchronized with its fundamental pattern, creating harmonic channel that redirected its flow through his own being and back toward its source. "Impossible," Chronos whispered, ancient certainty confronting unprecedented possibility. "The energy cannot be harmonized. Its nature is absolute. Nothing exists beyond harmony's potential," Goku replied, silver EY's reflecting infinite compassion even as primordial energy flowed through his perfectly synchronized form. Not even creation's original force. This demonstration transcended combat technique, becoming philosophical revelation rendered through physical expression. What Chronos had believed fundamentally absolute, power as domination rather than connection, revealed itself as matter of perspective rather than immutable truth. The redirected energy returned to its creator not as destructive force but as harmonic question, invitation to reconsider perspective maintained across eons of isolated existence. For perhaps the first time in his ancient consciousness, Chronos experienced genuine uncertainty, philosophical framework confronting evidence of its own incompleteness. This profound moment created critical opportunity. With the harmonic disruption device recalibrated and Chronos temporarily absorbed in philosophical reassessment, Goku advanced to the precise convergence point where reality streams merged into unified flow. "Now," Karina called out, ancient knowledge recognizing the perfect moment. "The convergence reaches critical phase. Ultra instinct must establish foundational harmonic pattern before final merger initialization." Understanding immediately, Goku positioned himself at the exact center where dimensional streams intersected. His silver aura expanded outward, connecting directly with the fundamental energy patterns underlying reality itself. Through ultra instinct perception, he recognized precisely how harmonic balance should manifest in restructured multiverse. Not eliminating power dynamics but ensuring cooperation remained equally viable evolutionary path. The others maintained their positions around the recalibrated control node, each contributing specific harmonic element that supported Goku's central influence. Their partial synchronization allowed perfect coordination without requiring explicit communication, unified purpose expressed through complementary individual contributions. As Goku established direct connection with convergence energies, unexpected transformation occurred. The silver aura surrounding him expanded exponentially, incorporating multicolored elements reflecting each contributor's unique frequency: Khalifa's crimson determination, Vados's celestial blue wisdom, Karina's ancient silver knowledge, Nirvana's golden information synthesis, and Zella's iridescent scientific understanding. This composite energy pattern flowed directly into the converging reality streams, establishing foundational harmonic template that would guide entire restructuring process. Rather than imposing specific outcome, the pattern created balanced potential where multiple evolutionary approaches remained viable, power through domination and power through connection existing as equally available paths rather than hierarchical relationship. Observing this development, Chronos emerged from his philosophical contemplation with newfound clarity. His mask displayed entirely new pattern, neither aggressive nor defensive but genuinely curious. The ancient entity approached the convergence point not as opponent but as observer, primordial energy reconfigured from destructive concentration to perceptual enhancement. "You do not eliminate the domination pattern," he noted with surprise evident despite his featureless mask. "Merely balance it against harmonic alternative. Truth rarely exists in absolutes," Goku replied, maintaining perfect connection with convergence energies despite the conversation. Your perspective contains value within larger balance. This acknowledgement, neither rejection nor submission but integration, affected Kronos profoundly. The ancient entity's consciousness, formed when reality itself operated by different parameters, encountered genuine evolution possibility rather than mere opposition. The technique has indeed evolved beyond my original design, Kronos acknowledged, ancient pride giving way to genuine curiosity. Perhaps my understanding requires similar evolution. Before further philosophical exchange could occur, reality itself pulsed with divine energy. The convergence nexus responded to external influence, cosmic restructuring officially initiated by powers transcending even Kronos' ancient authority. The Omni Kings have activated restructuring sequence, Vados announced, Celesti. Al perception recognizing divine signature. Convergence proceeds regardless of our local adjustments. Did we succeed? Khalifla questioned urgently, crimson energy fluctuating with genuine concern beneath her usual confident exterior. As the balance restored, harmonic pattern successfully established, Zella confirmed, scientific instruments recording unprecedented energy stability throughout convergence system. Restructuring will proceed with balanced evolutionary potential rather than predetermined hierarchy. Historical significance beyond calculation, Nirvana added, golden eyes wi. De with scholarly awe as she witnessed what countless cosmic librarians had only theorized. The first guided universal merger in 17 billion years of multiversal existence. As reality streams accelerated toward final convergence, the environment around them began fundamentally transforming. Dimensional barriers dissolved as universes merged into unified template, physical laws recalibrated. To accommodate composite existence patterns. We must withdraw before complete convergence, Karina advised urgently, ancient knowledge recognizing imminent danger. Our individual consciousness turns risk permanent integration if we remain within merger field during final phase. Interdimensional transit impossible from within active convergence, Vados countered, staff creating failed sportation circle that dissolved into surrounding energy patterns. Conventional escape methods non-functional during restructuring. There is another way, Kronos stated unexpectedly, ancient hands. Forming complex geometric pattern in dimensional fabric. The void between realities remains accessible through original pathways. Surprise rippled through the group at this unexpected assistance from their former adversary. Kronos perceived their uncertainty, mask displaying recognition pattern despite lacking conventional facial features. Your perspective deserves continued existence, he explained with simple honesty. The evolution continues through your survival. With complex dimensional manipulation beyond even angelic capability, Kronos created interdimensional pathway leading away from convergence center. Reality parted around his ancient hands, revealing stable transit route through otherwise chaotic merger energies. This leads to dimensional pocket outside restructuring influence, he explained. Multitonal voice carrying unusual clarity. Survival guaranteed while multiverse reconstitutes. Why help us now? Goku questioned, silver eyes studying the ancient entity with perfect perception. Domination without purpose serves no evolutionary function, Kronos replied, philosophical framework genuinely evolving beyond eons of isolated certainty. Your harmonic aproa, deserves continued existence alongside original pattern. Balance rather than elimination. Nirvana studied the offered escape route with scholarly skepticism. The dimensional coordinates appear legitimate. She confirmed after careful analysis. Transit pathway leads to stable pocket dimension as indicated. We must go immediately, Karina urged as converging realities accelerated toward final merger. Dimensional collapse reaches critical phase. What about you? Goku asked Kronos directly. The ancient entity's mask displayed what might have been the equivalent of a smile. I existed before structured reality. Convergence presents no threat to my fundamental nature. His geometric patterns shifted to contemplative configuration. Perhaps in restructured multiverse, our philosophies may continue more productive exchange. Quote, understanding this represented genuine evolution in the ancient consciousness, Goku nodded respectfully before turning toward the escape route. With perfect coordination maintained through their harmonic connection, the group entered the interdimensional pathway Kronos had created. The transit experience defied conventional description, movement through structured possibility space while reality itself reconstituted around them. Their partial synchronization provided necessary stability, harmonic resonance maintaining cohesive existence pattern despite surrounding chaos. When dimensional stability returned, they found themselves in environment unlike any conventional universe, a pocket dimension existing between restructured reality planes, suspend. Ed in quantum probability state that allowed observation without direct integration. Fascinating transitional space, Zella marveled, scientific instruments recording unprecedented dimensional properties. Exists simultaneously adjacent to all reality planes while maintaining independent integrity. A void walker sanctuary, Karina identified with reverent recognition, ancient eyes perceiving Fa. Familiar energy patterns within the environment. My ancestors created these observation pockets throughout dimensional fabric, places to witness cosmic events without direct involvement. From this unique vantage point, they could observe the cosmic restructuring without being subject to its transformative effects. The multiverse convergence manifested as spectacular energy symphony, 12 distinct reality patterns merging into unified template while maintaining fundamental diversity within new structural framework. The harmonic balance is maintaining integrity throughout convergence process, Nirvana observed. Scholarly assessment measuring pattern sustainability across forming reality. Domination and cooperation frameworks existing as complementary rather than hierarchical systems. We actually pulled it off. Khalifah stated with uncharacteristic wonder, crimson energy settling into peaceful equilibrium around her. The universe isn't getting completely messed up. Multiversal res. Structuring proceeds according to natural balance rather than imposed hierarchy, Vedos confirmed, celestial perception assessing cosmic scale patterns with perfect precision. The evolutionary template, E contains appropriate equipotential for diverse consciousness development. As they observed the restructuring process, their partial synchronization gradually dissolved, harmonic connection having served its necessary purpose. Individual consciousness reasserted distinct identity patterns while retaining impression of the shared experience, like returning to separate instruments after performing unified symphony. With synchronization disbanded, each experienced the aftermath according to their nature. Khalifah felt simultaneous relief at returning to comfortable self-definition and appreciation for connections established. The experience had fundamentally altered her perception of strength, revealing how power through connection offered evolutionary advantages beyond isolated development. Vedos experienced complex recalibration in her celestial perspective. Angel protocols regarding mortal interaction suddenly seemed outdated against evidence that consciousness transcended conventional classification systems. Her immortal viewpoint had been permanently affected by direct experience of harmonized perception. Zella's scientific mind cataloged the experience with newfound appreciation. For phenomena transcending quantification, where previously she had prioritized analysis over direct participation, she now recognized experiential knowledge contained validity beyond statistical documentation. Nirvana found her cosmic librarian identity simultaneously reinforced and transformed. The unprecedented events she had witnessed would require entirely new classification system within th. Multiversal archives. Recognition that reality contained genuine novelty beyond categorical prediction. Karina experienced profound fulfillment mixed with uncertainty. Her 50,000-year mission, as last Void Walker had reached completion with Ultra Instinct's proper application, yet this resolution opened questions about her continued purpose in restructured multiverse. For Goku, the Experry, NCE created fundamental transformation extending beyond temporary technique. Ultra Instinct had evolved from combat method to consciousness framework, perception permanently altered to recognize connections underlying apparent separation. The silver awareness remained integrated within his being not as power to activate but as perspective continuing to develop. As cosmic restructuring approached completion phase, their observation pocket began experiencing subtle vibrations, dimensional feedback indicating temporary sanctuary approaching natural conclusion. The pocket dimension destabilizes as restructuring completes. Karina explained, ancient knowledge recognizing the pattern. We must establish position within new multiverse framework before observation point dissolves. The dimensional coordinates have completely reconfigured, Nirvana observed, accessing newly forming cosmic records through her golden perception. Previous locations no longer exist within restructured framework. Where exactly do we go? Caulifla questioned pragmatically. Our entire universes just got smooshed together. The restructured multiverse establishes a round primary template, Vados explained, Stoff. F creating holographic representation of forming reality patterns. Universe 7 serves as foundational framework, with other universal elements integrated according to harmonic compatibility. Earth R. E main stable integration point within new framework, Zella added, scientific instruments identifying familiar quantum signature within chaotic reformation patterns. Logical destination for initial manifestation. Understanding flowed through final remnants of their harmonic connection. Earth would serve as anchor point while they adjusted to restructured reality. Within spoken agreement, they P.R.E. paired for transition as the observation pocket approached final dissolution phase. Interdimensional transit coordinates locked on Earth's signature, Vados confirmed, staff creating conventional transportation circle around the group. Celestial pathways reconfiguring but remain partially accessible. As dimensional energy encompassed them, Goku's silver eyes met each woman's gaze briefly, wordless. Acknowledgement of profound connection established through their shared experience. Though the harmonic synchronization had ended, something fundamental remained, resonance patterns continuing between them despite returning to individual identity. Reality shifted around them as Vados executed dimensional transit through newly forming cosmic pathways. The experience proved more turbulent than standard celestial transportation, restructuring energies creating unpredictable fluctuations throughout transit route. When stability returned, they stood atop mountain peak overlooking landscape both familiar and subtly transformed. Earth's fundamental geography remained unchanged, yet careful observation revealed integration elements from other universes, botanical specimens not previously native, geological formations showing alternative evolutionary patterns, atmospheric composition reflecting composite universal properties. Fascinating integration parameters, Zella marveled, scientific instruments recording environmental modifications, seamless composite reality rather than obvious patchwork. The restructuring succeeded beyond probability models, Nirvana added, golden eyes wide with S. Scholarly wonder as she consulted newly forming cosmic records. Harmonic balance maintained throughout 97% of integrated elements. And the remaining 3%? Caulifla questioned with practical concern. Minor adjustments continuing through natural evolutionary processes, Vados explained, celestial perception assessing ongoing integration patterns. The foundational temple, 8 establishes initial framework while allowing natural development to refine specific elements. As they discussed the restructured reality, Goku's silver awareness extended outward, perceiving the profoundly altered cosmic fabric surrounding them. The merged multiverse contained harmonious integration of previously separate universal properties, diversity preserved within unified framework rather than eliminated through dominant template imposition. Most significant was the fundamental consciousness pattern underlying physical reality, neither dominated by power hierarchy nor restricted to cooperative framework, but containing balanced potential for both evolutionary approaches. The multiverse had become genuine reflection of the philosophical balance established at Convergence Center, CHR. Ono's perspective integrated rather than eliminated, creating more robust evolutionary potential than either isolated approach. It worked, Goku stated with simple certainty, silver eyes reflecting peaceful completion. The balance established itself throughout restructured reality. Before further discussion could develop, multiple energy signatures approached rapidly, familiar presences converging on their location from various directions. Within moments, the mountain peak hosted unexpected reunion as friends and family arrived from across newly restructured reality. Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Whis, Beerus, and others materialized through various transit methods, each expressing mixture of relief, confusion, and urgent questions about what had transpired during cosmic restructuring. The chaotic conversation reflected genuine concern born from experiencing fundamental reality transformation without understanding its mechanism. Everyone just calm down, Beerus finally demanded, God of Destruction authority momentarily silencing the excited group. Obviously they succeeded since we still exist. His ears twitched with irritated relief as he turned toward Whis. Though some advanced RNING about unauthorized dimensional operations would have been appreciated. Time constraints necessitated unconventional approach, Whis replied with uncharacteristic directness, surprising his divine charge. The results appear to justify the methodology. The Grand Minister requests immediate audience with all participants, announced Supreme Kai, materializing with formal expression that poorly concealed nervous agitation. Cosmic protocols regarding restructuring intervention require official review. Are we in trouble? Caulifla questioned bluntly, crimson energy flickering defensively around her fists. Quite the opposite, came melodious voice as reality parted nearby, revealing the Grand Minister himself descending through dimensional gateway. His perpetual smile contained genuine warmth rather than merely polite formality. The Omni Kings are most pleased with the restructuring outcome. Surprise rippled through the gathered beings at this unprecedented personal apparenk. From the multiverse's highest administrative authority. Even Whis and Vados displayed momentary celestial shock before composing their immortal features. The balanced template demonstrates fascinating evolutionary potential. The Grand Minister continued, staff tapping rhythmic pattern against dimensional fabric. Cosmic development trajectories show 17% improvement across all consciousness evolution models. So we're not getting erased for messing with reality. Caulifla clarified, practical concerns taking precedence over cosmic implications. The Grand Minister's smile widened fractionally. Your intervention has been officially classified as necessary harmonic correction within cosmic records. His attention turned specifically toward Goku, studying the silver-eyed Saiyan with heightened interest. Most fascinating development indeed. There's something else, Goku observed, ultra instinct perception recognizing purpose beyond simple status update in the celestial being's appearance. Perceptive as expected, the Grand Minister acknowledged. The restructured multiverse requires appropriate administrative adjustments. New dimensional properties necessitate specialized oversight beyond conventional divine hierarchy. Understanding dawned gradually among those gathered. Cosmic restructuring had created reality requiring new management framework beyond traditional god of destruction and supreme Kai system. The Omni Kings have decreed establishment of harmonic guardians, the Grand Minister announced, formal tone indicating official cosmic proclamation. Entities specifically tasked with maintaining balanced evolutionary potential throughout restructured multiverse. His staff tapped once against dimensional fabric, creating holographic display showing organizational structure designed to complement rather than replace existing divine hierarchy. The schematic indicated specialized roles focusing on interdimensional stability, evolutionary balance maintenance, and harmonic integration oversight. Son Goku, the Grand Minister addressed directly, your unique perspective through Ultra Instinct Mastery qualifies you as primary candidate for Central Harmonic Guardian. The position would require establishing permanent consciousness residence within dimensional nexus while maintaining physical manifestation capability throughout multiverse. Assembled group fell silent as implications settled. Cosmic authority offering Goku position within divine administrative hierarchy, fundamentally altering his relationship with conventional reality. Would I still be me? Goku questioned with characteristic directness, concern evident beneath his silver-eyed tranquility. Or would I become something else entirely? Your fundamental nature would remain intact, the Grand Minister assured him. The position adapts to the individual rather than requiring complete transformation. Your unique perspective is precisely what qualifies you for the role. What about Earth? My family? Goku's questions reflected genuine consideration rather than reflexive rejection. Dimensional manifestation allows physical presence wherever required, the celestial administrator explained. Though consciousness would maintain primary residence within nexus coordinates, experiential participation throughout multiverse remains fully accessible. As Goku considered this unprecedented offer, his silver awareness perceived deeper implications beyond explicit explanation. The position would formalize what Ultra Instinct had already initiated, consciousness XC. Sting simultaneously within conventional reality and beyond it, perception encompassing both individual experience and universal patterns. More significant were implications for relationships established through their shared journey. The harmonic connections formed during their mission had created resonance patterns that transcended conventional relationship categories, unique bonds reflecting individual nature while maintaining unified purpose. Would I work alone? Goku inquired, question containing deeper significance understood by those who had shared harmonic synchronization. The Grand Ister's smile suggested recognition of the inquiry's true nature. The restructured multiverse requires multiple guardians with complementary specializations. Your associates have demonstrated exceptional harmonic compatibility that would prove valuable within expanded oversight framework. This carefully phrased response confirmed what Goku's Ultra Instinct perception had already recognized. The Cosmic Administrator understood the unique connections established and was offering framework where they could continue developing without conflicting with conventional relationship structures. Understanding flowed through remaining resonance patterns between those who had shared synchronization. The offer represented opportunity to maintain their unique connections while serving genuine cosm. I see purpose, interdimensional responsibility that utilized their specialized capabilities while allowing continued individual development. Khalifa's crimson energy flared with characteristic determination, though her expression revealed newfound depth beneath usual competitive exterior. So basically we'd be cosmic police making sure the universe stays balanced instead of going all evil and hierarchical. Essentially correct, if somewhat simplified, the Grand Minister acknowledged with celestial patience. Though, Guardian, more accurately reflects the role than police. Harmonic oversight offers unprecedented opportunity for multiversal documentation, Nirvana observed, golden eyes bright with scholarly excitement behind her spectacles. Complete reality access would revolutionize cosmic archive accuracy. The quantum research potential alone justifies consideration, Zella added, crystalline hair refracting light in patterns reflecting scientific enthusiasm. Interdimensional mechanics remain largely theoretical without direct observation capability. My people's legacy would continue through practical application rather than mere preservation, Karina noted, ancient eyes are reflecting peaceful purpose after 50 millennia of isolated guardianship. Angel protocols regarding mortal interaction would require substantial revision, Vados observed with careful neutrality, Our subtle energy fluctuation revealed genuine interest beneath celestial composure. Precedent exists for such adaptation when cosmic necessity demonstrates sufficient justification. Their individual responses flowed through remaining harmonic connections, creating composite understanding that transcended verbal communication. Without requiring explicit discussion, consensus formed, acceptance the offered roles representing logical evolution of connections already established rather than artificial imposition. Goku turned toward the Grand Minister, silver eyes reflecting peaceful certainty. We accept the guardian roles, he stated simply, provided we maintain freedom to define their implementation according to our unique perspectives. The celestial administrator inclined his head slightly. The Omni Kings anticipated this condition. Cosmic oversight requires balanced perspective between structural requirement and evolutionary adaptation. His perpetual smile conveyed genuine approval beneath formal acknowledgement. Preparations shall commence immediately. The restructured multiverse requires stabilization oversight during initial integration phase. As the Grand Minister departed through Dimensional Gateway, those who hadn't participated in the Convergence mission expressed varying degrees of confusion, concern, and curiosity about what had just transpired. So you're becoming some sort of cosmic guardian now? Gohan questioned his father, attempting to process the profound implications. What does that actually mean for everything? Goku considered how to explain transformation transcending conventional understanding. It means all exist differently than before, he began carefully, but remain essentially myself. My consciousness will operate on multiple evils simultaneously rather than exclusively through physical form. And these connections with them? Chi-Chi asked quietly, perceptive question cutting directly to relationship implications. Her ultra instinct awareness provided perfect clarity where confusion might otherwise have dominated. Goku perceived the complex emotional tapestry behind her inquiry, not merely jealousy or possessiveness, but genuine concern about relationship parameters fundamentally altered by cosmic transformation. What we've built together remains valuable and real, he assured her with gentle honesty. The connections formed through harmonic synchronization exist on different dimensional level, complementary rather than competitive with conventional relationships. Something in his explanation, the NCY combined with genuine respect for her concerns, affected Chi-Chi differently than expected. Rather than hurt or anger, her response carried surprising acceptance. You truly have changed, she observed with sad smile. The Goku I knew couldn't have explained something that complex with such clarity. I perceive things differently now, he acknowledged. But my core nature remains. This exchange represented merely beginning of longer conversations necessary for establishing new relationship frameworks within restructured reality. Yet the foundation had been laid for understanding transcend conventional categories, recognition that consciousness could maintain multiple genuine connections across different dimensional parameters without diminishing any individual bond. As these persona implications were discussed among family and friends, those who had shared harmonic synchronization gathered slightly apart, subtle energy connections flowing between them as they processed the cosmic responsibilities accepted and relationship implications created. So we're going to be fancy cosmic guardians while still getting to fight stuff, Caulifla summarized with characteristic directness. Though her energy signature revealed deeper appreciation for the arrangement's complexity. Could be worse career options. The harmonic oversight framework presents fascinating integration of theoretical knowledge with practical application, Zella noted, scientific instruments already recording dimensional properties of their new status. Unprecedented research opportunity within legitimate cosmic function. The multiversal archives require complete restructuring to accommodate new reality parameters, Nirvana added, golden eyes reflecting scholarly excitement behind her spectacles. Classification systems developed across 17 billion years suddenly require fundamental revision. My people's techniques find renewed purpose beyond mere preservation, Karina observed, ancient bowls on her skin illuminating with peaceful silver light. The cycle continues through transformation rather than repetition. Angel protocols adapt to cosmic necessity, Vedos concluded, celestial Ompos are maintained despite unprecedented deviation from immortal tradition. Evolution affects even unchanging beings when reality itself transforms. Their individual perspectives flowed through REM, aiming harmonic connections to Goku at the center, his ultra-instinct awareness perceiving the composite understanding beyond verbal expression. What had begun as temporary functional alignment for specific mission had evolved into something more profound, unique bonds reflecting individual nature while maintaining unified purpose. As restructured reality continued integration process around them, Ilver awareness extended through Goku's consciousness. Ultra-instinct perception allowed simultaneous appreciation of immediate physical environment and broader cosmic patterns, individual experience a ND universal framework existing as complementary perspectives rather than separate realities. Within this expanded awareness, he recognized truth transcending conventional understanding, relationships existed across dimensional levels just as consciousness operated through multiple perceptual frameworks. The connections established through their shared journey represented evolutionary development. Rather than artificial imposition, natural harmony emerging through complementary resonance. The harmonic guardian framework offered by cosmic authority merely formalized what ultra-instinct awareness had already revealed. Reality thrived through balanced integration of diverse perspectives rather than hierarchical dominance of single viewpoint. Their unique connections would serve this universal principle while continuing individual development, cosmic responsibility and personal fulfillment existing as unified expression rather than competing priorities. As this understanding settled into peaceful certainty, Goku's silver eyes met each guardian candidate's gaze, wordless acknowledgement of journey continued rather than concluded. The restructured multiverse represented beginning rather than end, expanded consciousness exploring evolutionary potential beyond conventional limitations. In dimensional space beyond physical perception, ancient presence observed these developments with newfound perspective. Chronos, integrated within restructured reality fabric rather than opposing its formation, experienced genuine evolution in consciousness framework maintained across eons of isolated existence. The cycle continues through transformation rather than repetition, he acknowledged, philosophical certainty yielding to evolutionary adaptation. Perhaps domination represents merely preliminary phase rather than ultimate conclusion. This fundamental reconsideration, ancient consciousness questioning framework maintained since creation's earliest phase, represented more profound transformation than mere physical restructuring could achieve. The multiverse had evolved not through power imposition but through perspective integration, balanced template offering evolutionary potential beyond either isolated approach. As cosmic integration continued throughout restructured reality, new connections formed between previously separate universal elements. What had begun with single Saiyan's Unex Pected mastery had catalyzed fundamental transformation affecting existence itself, not through dominance but through harmony, not through power but through resonance. And within this transformed multiverse, silver awareness continued expanding, consciousness evolving beyond conventional limitations while maintaining essential connection with experiences that defined individual nature. Ultra Instinct T had become not merely technique but perspective, not simply power but understanding. The journey continued through transformation rather than conclusion, harmony of power and heart establishing foundation for evolution transcending either isolated approach. What followed would emerge through balanced integration rather than predetermined pattern, future unwritten yet harmoniously aligned with cosmic purpose. Silver eyes reflecting infinite potential, Son Goku embraced this transformed existence, not as ending but as continuation, not as separation but as connection. The mastery achieved in Sing La moment had initiated journey without conclusion, transformation without limitation, evolution without predetermined destination. The harmonic path extended before them, infinite possibility balanced through resonant purpose. Blank, blank. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.